S&P 500 gapping up and actually just trying to get another push to the upside here. We'll take a look at Nasdaq, also strong this morning as traders await, you guessed it, Nvidia earnings. This is the biggest event of the earnings season, certainly not one to miss. Expected to report at 4:20 p.m. and you can catch that report live on this show with myself, Sean, Obi, and Brendan. So certainly stay tuned. Now, in terms of what we're looking for heading into the market, worth noting, just getting a bit of a pullback here on the Nasdaq. We've had comments all morning from some trade representatives with U.S. President Trump, including Trade Representative Greer, currently speaking, it looks like, I believe, on Fox Business News about China and tariffs. We also had Scott Bessent yesterday, who was, of course, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, asked about these tariffs as well and the possibility of tariff refunds. With the State of the Union last night from U.S. President Trump. Another catalyst I want to mention quickly as well, just keep an eye on some of these lithium names, as Zimbabwe mines minister suspending export of all raw minerals and lithium materials. CRCL just pulling back in a big way here, but one of many earnings names on watch. So much to look at today, Sharif.
Good morning. There is a lot to talk about, guys. A lot of earnings names in focus. We've got Lowe's reporting, HP. Also this morning, Lucid with another tough quarter. They're down on the morning. Circle, as Adair mentioned. First Solar down 15.75%. Kava up almost 10%. Tempest AI, Hut 8, Workday. There's a bunch of names to talk about today, Adair.
Of course. So much to look at here, guys. I think Nvidia, of course, on a lot of people's minds, but yesterday we had that AMD Meta deal as well. And I think PayPal is another name that's going to be back in focus now 2 days straight with some kind of acquisition report, both of them from Bloomberg. What are you two looking at today? We're going to say hello to Sean and Obi.
Oh, always good to have Obi here. Welcome back. Obi filling in for Neil today. It's his daughter's birthday, so he's taking it off. And Adair doing a great job filling in for Brendo there. So we have a couple of different situations. And are you you're joining us for the recap for the Nvidia earnings?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well, there it is. Yeah, good. So that's good. Obi will be joining us tonight. Yeah, let's talk about good earnings yesterday, last night as well for a few different names. You guys are just getting some Circle shares short, so that should be good. We'll have to see how that trade winds up pairing out for us. Crypto battling back a little bit, back up to 66,000. I stayed awake for the whole State of the Union.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah. It's pretty good. I don't know. It was pretty interesting. A little bit of back and forth there near in the middle and yelling and screaming back and forth with both aisles. But no, it was pretty good. I enjoy watching some of that theater and hearing some of the talk, and it was a fun one. And not too much market moving events, I feel like, last night. Adara brought up AMD. That's nice to see a little bit today, up another 0.7. So that should be doing really well into today's trade. Nvidia as well. Back up to 194, looking like it wants to break through that 195 area. That should be good. And then I actually have written down as the top trade idea for myself, and it's going to probably break soon, but Coinbase. Right now, what? 164. Oh, that must be some dark pool printing there. But yeah, 169, looking to break through 170 right here is Coinbase. I think my chart's not really updating right now on Coinbase. We'll figure out what's going on with that. But yeah, lots of interesting names to trade today. We were going to talk about Circle, also financial names as well, SoFi, JP Morgan, things like that back on watch for yet another day, and should be a good one here. Tesla 410. We had a good trade yesterday, breaking Tesla 400.
Yeah, no,
so that was a good trade last night or yesterday during the day, and we'll see if we can do something like that today. What's on your mind this day?
So it's definitely been an interesting week here, Sean. We saw coming into the week some crazy action off of that Citrini report.
Yes.
Where literally, how much dollar volume did this guy move?
I
Not
can't
specifically that guy, but like people, you know, it was
probably
a lot of fear
Anthropic
selling.
wrote that article.
Funny enough, it's like I was watching some of these names like Oracle, where I'm just like, where is this really going? And funny enough, the next day just swipes right back to prior day's opening price as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
So definitely some unusual selling coming in on Monday across the board. I was just like, is this fear mongering? I understand that. Like I read a decent chunk of the article. Most of it, I just gave it to Claude, and I was like, hey, can you summarize this? Summarize this.
Give me the Doomsday report.
Yeah, exactly. It was like talking about like 2028, and I'm like, oh my God, people are really, really scared. Or they took it. I guess they took it seriously. Whatever it was.
What, 38% down? They predicted about the S&P or the Nasdaq or whatever it was by 2028.
The Dow Jones dropped like 800 points. Yeah, a lot of things happened. Decent reversion here on Oracle, so I am definitely watching that. We're getting a gap up here once again. So it's just like anybody and everybody who basically thought that this selling wasn't over and got short, got swiped up yesterday, pretty much closing near in and around opening range highs. And guess what? Today, we're gapping up a little bit higher. So that 150 could be interesting. We're kind of knocking on the door of that on Oracle. Some of the other names I was looking at, I think it was LNC. This one was a sleeper, Sean. This one was the one I was looking for to take the continuation, because I looked at a few of the banks, a few of the financials, the ones that were affected by the Citrini report, and I was like, all right, which one of these is not like the other?
Right.
And yesterday, so you can see this is what happened on Monday. Very, very programmatic selling.
Yep.
This is definitely a seller on board, and then closes near pretty much at the low. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a look at this one for continuation. Funny enough, it does come into end of day range highs before the selling kind of steps right back in. But we did get some relief and a reversion back in coming into the end of the day. But yeah, let me know what you guys are watching when it comes to that Citrini report, kind of thematic that's happening right now. I know
we've got a big one tonight. We got CRM.
Yeah,
tonight.
CRM. CrowdStrike was another one that got pretty much absolutely rocked.
The whole space.
Could not catch a bounce. So here's the thing. Unusual selling. Well, say that you didn't know what the news was. Unusual selling coming in on Monday. The question I asked was, how many of these could actually bounce? How many of them actually showed some strength? CrowdStrike was one of the ones that could barely bounce. So some of them I'm looking for that leg, consolidation leg. Something like Oracle, which I was looking for continuation, absolutely not. We're looking distinctly different here on Oracle with that leg down, swipe up, and then gap up on the day today in the pre-market. So Oracle, by far one of the more interesting ones of that theme that's going on right now. So IBM saying good-o. Yeah, definitely IBM is on watch here. IBM kind of similar. It did catch a bit of a bounce here, but guess what? IBM bigger picture, man. Take a look at this. It's coming down pretty aggressively, breaking this consolidation, coming back into some of these lows from September, and then pulling back into some even earlier levels here. So I'm definitely watching this one very closely, because honestly, this looks a little too far too fast, but we'll wait and see if and when that bid comes in, if we can.
It was that whole COBOL. I don't know enough about it, but
yeah,
it was.
So yeah, they were like, COBOL modernization, and I guess IBM's a big player in
like a legacy in that space. Yeah. I see a lot of people putting into the chat your ticker, right? I hope we just ran through a bunch of them. So this is what we want you guys to do. Put in $ Goog, Circle, Nvidia, Open Door actually had a move yesterday as well, Obi. A lot of these names, there's SoFi. So, you know, if you're in the chat, you just put a $ in there, Microsoft, someone just put Open, someone's putting SoFi, and then we'll just add it up, you know, and we'll see where, ooh, pairs.
Pair. Nice.
That's the pairs trade for today.
Exactly.
You know, long and short. Kawartha Dairy.
Yeah,
man,
some cable.
The snow last night there. I don't know. We got a little bit of snow in this morning. It wasn't the greatest. Let me see how much. About that much. Yeah, okay. I think that's probably a little bit more than there was, but yeah, no, I had to shovel a little bit this AM. So it's I feel like it's supposed to get to 1 or 2 degrees though. It's supposed to get pretty warm either today or tomorrow.
Yesterday
so we'll be okay. Yeah, yesterday was. Frigid is a great word. That could be the word of the day or week or season, it seems like. It's been a cold one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's coming in. We're coming into summertime. Things are getting a little volatile, you know, up and down.
Summertime, yeah.
Warm last week, almost summer. And then yesterday we get like -10 all of a sudden, and then we're back to warm again.
Late February, almost summer. Yeah, that would be really nice if that was happening. You got me all happy. I like those thoughts right there. SoFi up almost 4%. So there goes SoFi here. Another name that, again, Citrini. Like, this guy's taking everything down. You know, SoFi had worrisome in the banking sector as well. We saw Charles Schwab go to the downside. A lot of those credit card companies, that's a little bit of a different situation there. But, you know, people talking about maybe bypassing some of the credit facilities and whatnot. So, yeah, nice to see a little bit of a bounce back. And we mentioned, Neil was talking about XLF, how that was tanking over the last little while as well. What's JP Morgan up today? Nothing. All right, so XLF's had a nice move on the daily chart. And this is something that again, like you're an investor and you don't want to take single stock risk, you can, definitely see this was 56 high back just at the beginning of the year, down to $51. That's 10% in the banking ETF. You get it all the way back to like November of 24 right there. So, good opportunities in XLF as well. And the winners keep on moving, right? Caterpillar, Lamb, all these names, J&J, Procter & Gamble. This whole sort of like, if you can explain the business and what they do, then it's probably doing okay right now. And so Caterpillar's upside, FedEx continues to move and march higher as well as the transports keep going. So again, if it's a business you understand and maybe one that's been around for a while, it's probably working right now in this environment. So, all right, it's 8:10. Wow, we just killed 10 minutes there. That was pretty good, Obi. Let's go back over the desk. We should have, actually, I looked today. There is, I believe, we have Luis coming on too. I wanted to say, I didn't think there was any economic numbers. We just have, excuse me, a bunch of Fed speak. Fed's barking at 10:40, Schmid at 11, and 1 o'clock, Musalem coming through. So not much going on there, but we do have Luis coming later on around 8:30 to talk about some, mid to small cap names, and we'll see if there's anything running around today. So LRCX. Yeah. All right. I don't. If I look pale, it must be the lighting because I feel pretty good, and I need to get some sun though. That is for sure. The wife wants. I want to go on vacation, but the wife, like, we're just so. We don't even have a free. Honestly, we don't have like a free weekend until I think it's July right now in the calendar, and it's just
3rd, maybe.
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
May the 4th be with you. Why? What's up with May 3rd?
I think there is a.
Did you look at my calendar?
No, I was looking at.
Oh, there might be holidays. Yeah, no, for sure. But it's just like we've committed to a bunch of things, and a lot of it is kid related. So we're trying to do the best.
April 3rd is Good Friday.
Well, yeah.
May 25th.
Right, yeah. Well, there's Easter. Easter's coming up, and all that kind of stuff. I think maybe April of some sort. Neil's going to. He always goes every year to. Spring training.
Right.
So that's, I can never take off March break. Thanks, Neil, because he does it every year. So I got to pull my kids out of school. My kids got to get less educated because of Neil, This is the problem. All right. It's fine by me. Let's go back over the desk. You guys have any vacations planning? I heard, Sharif, you were thinking about a cruise or something. I heard that a little while ago.
Katina, man, the thing about the cruise is you've got to like march to the beat of their drum. They've got, the disembarking on certain days. So I think I'm going to go to Punta Cana. I was actually looking at Mexico yesterday, Katina, man, because of all the rage that's happening. I figured I'd get myself a good deal, but they haven't dropped quite yet. So.
Money thing. Joe did. Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing, but then I was like, because I saw that they almost got chopped in half, some of those prices. But then I was thinking, like, I don't know, is it worth going there with all that sort of strife going on there? It's probably a great deal to do it, and nothing's going to happen. But did you say Punta Cana on purpose?
Joseph gave me that.
Okay, no, because that was funny. I like that. I never heard that. I think I'm going to go to Punta Cana. So I've been to Punta Cana. It's really nice. I think the wife and I went there pre-kids once, and I might have gone in my heyday as well at one point. So, yeah, I like the Dominican Republic for sure. You have any vacation? You sometimes go down south to see the family. Sometimes Chicago.
To Chicago. I don't know. There was a wedding that I was supposed to go to in Cancun. The tickets are definitely looking much better.
Grab it right now.
Yeah. Some of the boys that got those early, oh boy, definitely. I think they're down like about 50% from what they were like.
That's what I was saying.
Ago,
yeah, I saw some deals like $1,000. Like all you
like
can
eat,
drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Flying. No, that was to stay somewhere. The flight's probably a couple $100.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think I was looking at them literally last night. Funny enough, I was looking at because I saw this video of like a bunch of people on the beach, and then there's like smoke.
The fire, like they're blowing up
happening
buses.
like across. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem.
I just love the life. Like, talk about privileged individuals, right? Like, I'm thinking like, and I would be one of those guys on the beach as well. It's like, people are on the beach sipping margaritas, pina coladas, this and that. Meanwhile, like the city's on fire, and you can see it. It's like, okay, well, anyways, tough. I hope everyone's safe over there. We're just having fun about vacations, but it's very serious stuff over there in Mexico. So we hope everybody is safe with that. And I think it was just a Puerto Vallarta location there that's under stress, and it was because they actually, I guess they got the leader of the drug cartel or whatever there, and so I better stop talking or else this is going to get out of hand. All right, let's go back over to the desk and talk to Darren Sharif.
We're definitely going to be discussing some Nvidia in a minute, but first I do want to mention this catalyst here coming through with Uber and Joby. This press release coming out right at 8 a.m. saying, quote, get ready for takeoff with Uber and Joby. That's right. Uber Air is going to be a new product here powered by Joby. Apparently, Joby is expected to carry its first passengers later this year in Dubai, and this will be a nice milestone for the partnership between Joby and Uber. I know you're interested in this whole eVTOL space, Sharif.
Yeah, I'm involved in this name, guys, full disclosure. So riders are going to be able to actually book these Joby eVTOL flights directly in the Uber app. It's the airplane, or the, let's call it the eVTOL that Joby is using here, is designed to carry a pilot and 4 passengers. It goes up to about 200 miles per hour and it has about a 100-mile range. The aircraft uses tilting propellers, so they're kind of sound dampening, so you can operate within the, the regular ambient noise within a city. And they intend to expand their service to major global markets. We're talking about New York, we're talking about LA and Japan, but starting out with Dubai.
Nice milestone there for these two companies. And speaking of, milestones for companies, Nvidia, with its earnings report tonight, we already mentioned this. I do think it does bear repeating. We're going to talk about this again during the rundown. But guys, NVDA, here's a look back at what they reported for Q3 2026. They did beat revenue and EPS, and they grew revenue by 62%. We're expecting roughly 66% year-over-year revenue growth for this quarter, Sharif.
Yeah, and here's what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for a $1.54 EPS on around $66.1 billion in revenue. That's what we're guiding for the current quarter. We'll have to see how they do. Data center revenue, which is the bulk of their revenue, is expected to come in at about more than a little bit above $60.5 billion, with full year expected a little bit below 214. But one thing that I'm personally going to be listening to is the cost of RAM and whether or not they're factoring that into their projections. A lot of the products that Nvidia sends out are completed servers. They have GPUs, CPUs, as well as, of course, NAND, DRAM, and the price of those have been going up markedly, Adara. So I want to see if any margin compression happens. We know that their margins are still in the mid-70s.
Nvidia, what's your guys' look?
I just wanted to say, so we will talk about Nvidia. I'm interested in that Joby talk, because the thing about Joby is it's 10% short flow. Okay, so that's something that could get this stock going. I'm a little nervous about the actual business there with Uber, and I'll tell you why. Because 4 people is not a huge amount. I mean, obviously in a car, they take in 1 person. It's just, I wonder about the margins on that, but I think it's great to introduce these kind of eVTOLs into the market and make it mainstream, right? So I'm actually, I know, and thanks for Sharif for disclosing that he was in this, but I think it's a good name to possibly get in. I mean, you are now starting to base out right here $9 to $10. And the interesting thing about Joby is that we didn't cover, guys. They report tonight, Adara. So Joby tonight should be on watch, and it will be for us, as we'll be covering it all live here. But this is a good little level. It goes all the way back to January of 25, this $11 break. Now you get news with Uber. And, this is not a disruption. They're not disrupting anything. They're just creating like a new sort of class of travel. And I don't know, I could see it. You mentioned in New York there, I could see getting from Manhattan, whatever, to Uptown or wherever you're located there. I feel like if you have enough money, and I don't know how much this is going to cost, but obviously I think it, again, probably for the privileged, I would think, on this. But convenient, I think there's definitely a market for it. I know Neil sometimes takes his private helicopter into work and things like that. So, and that's expensive. You got to pay for a pilot. You got to pay the gas and all this kind of stuff. So it's nice to see Joby here doing it all for you the right way. So I do like that look there today, and I think that's a good story. And I'm probably, looking at this maybe on the watch list and put it on the sticky note, because, back in here into the 200 period is about $10. So I think a fall back into 10, and then maybe we get this thing going. Joby up 6% right now. Yeah, good look for NVIDIA. I have NVIDIA written on the sheet as well today, but what were you thinking here? It's a little top heavy near that 195, I feel like.
So I think I'm going to be looking for, the question is, like, how well are they going to be? We know they're going to be. Right. We know they're going to do well. Is the market going to digest what they report? And those are some of the questions that I'm asking. Like, are they going to, is it going to be above expectations? Are they going to blow it out of the park? Or is it going to be as expected? Whatever. But that 193 to 195 194. I've been kind of pointing this level out here multiple times, and it's just like whenever we've come in here, even we attempted to break out of this, got to 200, 212.15 is the high, pulls back in, and then finds resistance here just in and around this 194, 192, 193. Within that area, every time we get up there, it keeps on getting sold off. And we saw that trade come in earlier this week on Monday. We'll just go down to a 15-minute chart here. It comes up, breaks out, pushes up into that 193 level, breaking prior week's highs, and then supply just steps right back in. Similar story yesterday, couldn't really get past some of those prior day highs either. But today, with a little bit of a gap up and trading above prior day's range, and it's earnings eve as well, maybe on the report is when we can finally blast through some of this resistance, and that seller lifts. But I have no idea. That's what I'll be looking for, to be honest. And ultimately, I want to try to take inventory into 200 if it'll let me. But we'll see what happens. Sometimes some of the best moves, they're just going to swipe off of that earnings report. So
Yep.
I know a few of you love to trade earnings. So good luck to you tonight for sure. And yeah, I'm expecting some good moves. Maybe tomorrow we come in and we're holding above that 195 to 200.
Well, that was
level.
that last time we broke above was on earnings, then we faded right back out. So I'm with you on that one. I think it'll be, we always have those polls up and we say like what to expect. I would say like a beat and then a fade is what I would think for Nvidia. You could get up to that 205, 210 area, and then we'll see what the market thinks about it. Most reports, many reports this earnings season have followed a very, very similar fate. And you could get that today, and we're going to be talking more about it. And I know Circle is a name that you've been studying as well, and you are looking at. And I know a few of you have gotten shares short on this. So I wanted to say, like, part of the Trader TV Academy also is being prepared, right? And I mean, the Trader TV Academy is now live. You guys can go grab that. We'll be talking about that very, very shortly. But, you know, here's Circle. Why is it still on Joby? 11, 12% short float, an earnings report that no one really expected to put out these kind of numbers, up 20% right now. So what I was getting at was preparation. So if you're looking short, you may have to borrow some from your broker. So we've had to do that around here. So many of the traders on the floor today looking short, or at least if you're going to trade Circle, you might as well pick up some shares short as well. Like, you know, even if you think the long is in, if this thing pops, 25% or something, then, you may be looking for that backside for the short there. So anyways, Circle, a name very cheap to borrow, basically free here. It's just you got to make sure they're loaded in your account. When I first started, they used to call them bullets instead of short requests. So it was like, yeah, because you needed it loaded, basically. Anyways,
I like
funny.
that.
Yeah, I like that too. It was always called that. So yeah, man, give me some bullets on Circle. Okay, let's go back over to Joe. He's got the options. Look, let's see if there's anything going on there.
Always something going on in the world of derivatives here, Katina, man. Let's take a look here at AMD. Yes, yesterday signing a partnership with Meta. So we want to see what we got going on here with the options activity. We're going to kick things off with that $210 strike price. This is where we're going to see some substantial open interest and volume. Keep an eye out on these zones, guys. 13,000 in the OI sector and volume around 14,500. Open and close contracts, that is. And you can see the bid in the ask sitting around $20 there, guys. And relatively expensive, $800. And then we're going to see an increase in at-the-money IV as well. So your Vega metric starting to see a slight increase. But what I was surprised about is how little delta exposure you have here, considering, and then your gamma also relatively light as well. So we'll keep an eye out on those. And AMD, for me, use AMD. I personally like to trade the vehicle AMDL. Moving forward, PayPal with the strong spike up yesterday in the latter half of the session, looking at that $50 mark and seeing some substantial open interest and volume in around that range and at that specific strike price. 25,900 there, guys, and 29,400 as open and close contracts. Delta, really surprising as well, too. So a very cool delta metric, your gamma exposure relatively cool, and then your at-the-money IV, you're going to see a slight increase there at 70.6%. A lot going on here this after the close, so we'll keep an eye on some NVDA, and surprisingly so, I didn't see the increase in open interest through the strikes, the call strikes that I was looking for. So we'll see how we react. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a substantial move here after the bell, guys. We'll be back momentarily with some upgrades and downgrades.
Very much there, Joe. The one that interests me, Sean, is that AMD for sure. We saw that crazy kind of gap up here. This move happened yesterday in the pre-market off of news that Meta might be getting themselves a little bit of an AMD stack there. So
right.
Interestingly enough, 227 highs, swipe up, beautiful, beautiful reversion of just over 50% of that swipe up. But I like that it held up. It held up pretty decently, kind of absorbed, digested that move, and we got some maybe price, short-term at least, price acceptance in and around that 212, lower range 207s, and then we got all the way up to 216. So I have my eyes on this. If we can kind of break this 226, 227 high, maybe we'll see if it can get past prior day high as well. But AMD, definitely one of the top names on a higher time frame. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to set up for an intraday trade today, but I'll definitely be watching this 216 level, Sean.
And I think when there's smoke, there's fire. We talked a little bit about PayPal over the last couple of days there as we and I actually just got lucky with it. I had mentioned going long there around $40. Just thought it was a little too depressed, and they still have that user base, and new CEO looking like, I don't know, turnaround was not that the turnaround was possible, but if you look back, $40 was a pretty key level at one point there, and maybe I can throw you back a little longer there. But at the end of the day, it's a break through this 42, 42.50 area that now has got us to 48, and apparently a name like Stripe or some activist involvement here with PayPal. So another upside play here today. What about a pullback to 46.50 here, the 200-period moving average? We want to play dips and strong names. PayPal strong today. ES, actually, I just put out the sticky note, and I wanted to put the TQs, and I didn't do that. All right, I'm thinking long today, just overall market, just with Nvidia coming through. Stocks starting to go higher here. We got Palantir on the list. We got crypto starting to go as well. So Nasdaq up 0.4, ES up 0.3. So I like the long. So if we're going to look for stocks that are stronger than the market right now, you got PayPal relative strength with a good story underneath it. I like PayPal today, 46, 46.50. If we dip down into that area, we could get that, right? And we also have a renewed takeover talk here with Netflix. I don't know if we might get to that story later, but Netflix and Warner Brothers there, Paramount, they're coming up with $31. We'll see if Netflix and if they can all be friends again here and figure out what's going to exactly happen with Warner Brothers. But I wonder if this name potentially, yeah, that's right, our charts don't show, boo. I wonder if this name potentially too has bottomed out right now and trying to break a little bit of a trend to go higher here on Netflix. So we'll watch to see that $80 mark going to come into play here today for sure on NFLX. So, all right, man, it's 8:28 right now. We should have Luis coming up around 8:30. But yeah, a couple of really interesting names there. Thanks, Joe, for those options. AMD looking real good off that move yesterday. I prefer PayPal, and I think Netflix has a move higher in it at some point off of this recent development with Paramount and Warner Brothers.
Getting to that Paramount Warner Brothers story on our rundown to kind of give it more time for everything that it needs. In the meantime, I do want to mention PYPL, which was brought up by Joe here. PayPal making a big move yesterday. This is its second straight day, or rather yesterday was its second straight day of intraday moves on a Bloomberg report related to a possible acquisition. This time here, Sharif, Bloomberg named Stripe as a potential acquirer.
They did, and JP Morgan. We'll get to some other names in a second. They're specifically targeting PayPal's Braintree unit, which is valued on, in the informal markets at between 10 to 15 billion. That would add roughly about $700 billion in total payment volume to Stripe's existing 1.4 trillion. So that would be a nice accretion there. It's also Stripe, that is. It's also dominant in the B2B payment processing. So it would strategically make sense for them to pick up a B2C, business to customer. So look for that. But they're also, Stripe's estimated value at 159 billion is markedly higher than PayPal's 49. So financially, it would make sense. But some other names that are being floated here, American Express, I don't know how to say this, Revolut, and other private equity firms as all possible suitors for PayPal.
We're going to have to wait and see if this acquisition comes to pass. It's worth noting Michael Burry also saying that he thinks that Shift4 would be a better target in that space than PayPal, which gave FOUR a move yesterday. Speaking of moves up, I do want to mention as well this Oracle upgrade. ORCL getting a nod from Oppenheimer this morning with a $185 price target, raising that rating to outperform. We're going to go head over to Luis in a second here. So we're going to bring him in. Thank you very much to Luis Barbado over here from Day Trade the World Barcelona, or Real Trading Barcelona. How are you doing today?
We're doing good. Thank you. Nice to meet you anyway.
Great to meet you, Luis. Let's drive in right into these small caps. There's a whole bunch of runners I'm seeing. I want to start here with XWEL. This is XWEL. This one was on our watch list this morning, I believe. Private placement news. Is this the type of stock that you'd be looking at today?
Yeah, we have a very, very, very slow market today in the small cap. Actually, we have only a couple of interesting stocks, and this is one of them. XWEL is popping up 120%. We have to take into account that this one has a bid price non-compliant requirement from the Nasdaq. So that means they have, I think, until 1st of June or 9th of June, something like that, to trade 10 days over $1. It doesn't look like it's going to happen today, but it's a very interesting moment to push the stock. They release some news. They try to do everything on their hands to push it through $1 and hold it there. We will not trade this one unless if it opens above VWAP, we will wait for some weakness and losing VWAP. But right now, we will not short this one in front of pre-market highs.
It makes a lot of sense, especially with that $1 mark that you mentioned there. Are there any other tickers that are on your radar for today? I know you mentioned it being a lighter day.
Yeah, we have Reto, R-E-T-O is the other one. We trade that one in front of the dollar. This one, it doesn't have a bid price requirement. Could have, if it would have, we could have hold over $1, but it didn't. So we went short against this $1 round number, adding when the VWAP was lost, taking profits here, and we will trade this one in front of the VWAP, short in front of the VWAP with the pre-market highs as stop, as hard stops.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you for going over that one. I actually have a question as well about a ticker. I don't know if this is necessarily something you'd be looking at here, but RXRX, Recursion Pharmaceuticals, I believe Nvidia invested in them in one point a while back. They had earnings this morning. It's like a $3.80 ticker, bit of pre-market action. Is this the type of thing that you'd be looking at today?
Absolutely, you're right, but it's pretty already dead. The movements have happened like a couple of hours ago, something like that, but it's very, very interesting stock as well. It has some nice history charts and some kind of repetitive behavior, so it's one of the favorite tickers when it's in play in the pre-market.
It's definitely one that has moved in the past for sure. I have a question kind of more general, I think probably helpful for small cap traders, but traders in general. When there's a day like today, as you mentioned, when there's just not a lot happening, are you kind of looking for opportunities? Are you more sitting on your hands, waiting to see what sets up? What's your approach to these types of setups and days?
This is very important for day traders and more active day traders. We used to be here, and it's important to sit on your hands sometimes and do nothing. I mean, do nothing trading, but the trader, let's say like 10% of the trading is execution, but the other 90% is reviewing trade, coach with the other teammates, just relax, take the day off sometimes, you know. It's not a holiday, but it could be a day off today because there's nothing to do. But of course, always be expecting for a chance to come. Of course, the market until 10 in the night here in Spain, 4 in New York City, it's open. So we will have some chances, but be patient is very important. We also have some blue chips with earnings like cycle today. We had AMD, a nice trade yesterday on AMD, for example. It is not our strong point to trade in blue chip, but if the chance comes, we take it, of course.
That's an awesome lesson just across the board. And actually, I want to ask you a question about that. So given that, as you said, you're not really necessarily known for trading these blue chips, you prefer the small caps, I guess what does it take for you to be interested in one of these blue chip names? And then what are you going to be kind of looking for to enter that trade?
Oh, you have to find an edge there. And like every day, we don't have an edge there. But if you have a lot of volume, some very, very important levels, some narrative behind the trade, as we had in AMD with the popping up so much pre-market, losing pre-market highs on 216. So we were short on that area, 215, 216, because we saw some narrative there. The market was weak, but AMD was overreacting to this news, so we took the short there. So a lot of things, and I believe the trader, we burn a lot of mental capital when we trade blue chips because of the level 2, because of the high volume, because of the way it moves. We believe we burn a lot of mental capital. So it's better to be very, very picky with the trades when you are trading blue chips.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially if it's something you're not necessarily doing every day. So with that in mind, with Nvidia earnings after the bell, is that the type of thing you'd look at, or more kind of seeing if it necessarily sets up how you want it to?
Absolutely. Tomorrow, if the movement is worthy to trade and the volume is there, but as I said, be very, very patient for some important levels with a very tight risk reward. Let's say very disciplined with the entry and exit points. When we trade blue chips, most of the time we trade like binary situation, like this is the target and this is the stop. When we trade the small caps, we are more flexible. We add into position, we cut the losses, we jump in again the trade, we are less selective on the execution. But when we trade blue chips, we are more selective with the entry, exit, and target price. So tomorrow, if it's very interesting because of the volume and prices, of course. If not, we will look for some sympathy plays within the sector.
It makes a lot of sense in terms of just kind of having approach to certain different types of stocks and sticking with that. Is there anything else you're looking at today, or anything else you want to share with anybody this morning, Luis?
Not looking so much today pre-market, as only Reto and XWEL. We will also check stocks from yesterday, like CDIO. We have a very nice trade yesterday here in CDIO. We went short on those new highs because, as you can see, the history chart tells you it pops during the day, but we have during the day some very nice drop here, tanking like 50% again the next day. So we went short on these highs and take this very nice movement now. So today, because it has news as well, we will try to short this in front of highs of yesterday, and if it goes down, we will try to add into the VWAP.
Yeah, tons of lessons and insight there. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. Luis Barbados over at Day Trading. Thanks again, Luis.
Thank you very much, Adara.
Fantastic stuff as always. Looking forward to more conversation with Luis in the afternoon. So make sure you guys come and check out the midday. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with some downgrades. And at the top of the list here, we have Kroger. You're down 1.38% here, with the price target being lowered to $68 by Wells Fargo. Also going from an overweight to an equal weight there, guys. And then First Solar down 15% here this morning. That is not a good look there. Price target to 205. Robert W. Baird giving that downgrade on FSLR. Let me double check something. Yeah, so that downgrade to 205 there, guys. And then Workday as well, going from a buy to a hold with the $155 price target by TD Cowen, down 8.88% here this morning. And then TAP, if you're thirsty this morning, some Molson. Coors getting the downgrade as well. $42 is going to be that target, going from a neutral weight to an underweight by BofA Securities. Now, on a positive note, we have Array Technologies slightly negative here this morning, but getting a price target increase to $19 and by BNP Paribas. And then we have Enphase as well, to 2.3% to the top side, guys, going from a hold to a buy, and a price target increase to $57. Oracle positive this morning, 2 1/5. Price target of $185 by Oppenheimer, going from a perform to an outperform. So not too bad of a look there from Oracle. And then we also have Kava Technologies, guys, Telsey Advisory Group, giving them the nod. $85 is that price target. $85 to $88 there by Telsey Advisory Group. You're up 9% here this morning.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, the name that interests me, well, I mean, a lot of those do actually. Oracle on the come up is nice. You know, that's battling back. I think. Were you going to talk? Oh, you're going to talk about First Solar? Okay.
That's fine.
No, you talk about it. I'll go to Oracle. No, I was going to say I'll leave First Solar for Obi. He has a chart up there, so we'll leave that. But yeah, I was just thinking here, like, you know, with all these bond issuance and all this stuff, and you know, Google just had that 100-year. I feel like there is enough financing out here to support all these data center build-outs. I don't know. There's just something about it. Larry Ellison here going to support his company. Nice little upgrade. I'm just wondering if it just bits down. It just got hit too much here on Oracle. And we talked about this yesterday. I just can't remember what the PE was. I think we were thinking about this one near 20 right now for Oracle, which would be, and if it's anything less than that, then I think it is for sure a buy. Yeah, so there it is right there, 27 for Oracle right now on the PE. Q3 earnings in 12 days, Monday, March 9th. So, you know, it's always interesting when you get upgrades kind of out of nowhere heading into earnings. So, you know, potentially somebody knows something here, and maybe not, just a beat up name, gapping higher right there. So I like Oracle today on that move, up 2% against a market that I believe is going to be a strong one today. So I think Oracle on that upgrade, heading into earnings in 2 weeks. I like the stock. I think there's enough money out here to support the name. And I'm not too worried about the ability to raise capital and build out these data centers and support, you know, hopefully the big deals that they have underneath them. And if OpenAI is going to be a success, then I'm pretty sure Oracle can handle their business. So yeah, we'll look for Oracle for a nice move higher there. And I was going to choose for solar on the downside, but that chart looks very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at it here, Sean, on a multi-hour chart. And yeah, it's a bit of a gap down here below prior support levels here. So we were supporting here in and around that 215, 214 area, all the way from January. Some of these levels showing up here as well from October of 2025 and maybe a little bit earlier as well. So yeah, most of October. Again, this was a resistance. Then it became into support. Then it became into support again. So definitely gapping below what I think is a bit of an interesting level here. I'm honestly looking for a potential continuation. They did not do, I guess the market didn't really digest their earnings report too well because aggressive selling off of the initial reaction, and then nice little bleed out there as well, coming in even lower in the pre-market session as of right now. So definitely one to keep a close eye on. Pre-market lows is 280, and I think that 200 could be well within range after maybe even before the open. We still have a bit of time here, but definitely something that I'm watching very closely for a potential push into 200. I think ideally, if it continues to hold VWAP here as it is, again, I like to throw on that anchored VWAP at the same time. So let's get rid of that intraday VWAP. That's sitting all the way up here. Again, more confluence at that 214 area here. So I'll be watching this one, 200 coming in potentially. That's what it's showing me. More sellers off of the open would just be more of the same on FSLR, guys.
All right, back to the desk.
And I like that you mentioned FSLR here, Obi, because I did want to talk about the solar space anyway over here, because it's interesting. We actually have a positive catalyst for one solar stock. That'll be Enphase, ENPH, getting an upgrade from Jefferies this morning to a buy rating, raising that price target here to 57. Prior price target was 42. So nice look for ENPH. But as Obi just showed there for FSLR, not all is nice in solar. Certainly that report worth mentioning here, Sharif.
They did okay on the current report, guys, with adjusted EPS coming in at 484. That is up a healthy amount from the year prior, which was 365. Net income did also increase a little bit less than 521 million in take-home money. But despite the beat, the stock is down markedly here to start, as investors really focused on the weaker forward guidance. Let's talk a little bit about that guidance. They're guiding 4.9 to 5.2 billion. That came in below. That's for full year, by the way. They came in below the 5.28 billion consensus. Their module sales, they're looking at actually selling between 17 to 18.2 gigawatts. That also missed the street's expectations of 18.5 gigawatts. And the analyst consensus revenue for the full year is 6.16 billion. So even at the top end of the range that they were guiding, that's a big miss there. The key issue, though, is their strategic underutilization of the Southeast Asian factories. That is according to the CEO. CDIO on the call yesterday, and the management acknowledged there are customer headwinds, especially in permitting delays under the current administration, to be able to get those done, Adara. So we'll have to see how this one does during the trading day.
Now, lots of other earnings to talk about, of course, this morning. Some of these discussed in the rundown, some leading up to it. But in the meantime, I know you guys kind of already talked about FSLR. And what are your thoughts, I guess, in solar today?
Yeah, so we did have a look at it. I thought it was pretty interesting that we saw Enphase on the upside there, on the upgrade. So I'm not sure like why First Solar would be getting hit that bad, and people are expecting Enphase to put up a number. But for me here, it looks like a pretty decent opportunity to break through $52 if it can get going. I would rather fade this name because we did get the First Solar number, which was worse. And I mean, shoot, TAN, that's the ETF. Ooh, good memory, I feel like. Yeah, there it is, solar ETF. You know, I was like, is it Ray? Is it Sun? Or what is it? But it's TAN. And I mean, this has been also pretty hot, you know? So I don't, you know, for me, if I was to think about First Solar earnings ahead of earnings, I would have thought it was a pretty healthy look. I mean, the ETFs going to the upside. We had Sunrun was another name that we had talked about before with Brian Shannon, and it's a name that he had thought about potentially breaking out as well. And that didn't, looks like that didn't wind up happening, but you know, these were other names that, like, look at the consolidation here, Obi. When you're talking about a flagpole potentially, there's the move up, a little bit of consolidation. That doesn't look like it's about to break or anything like that, but just a lot of choppiness in a lot of these names. But you know, that TAN ETF, if you like the space, maybe this is something. I don't know. We talked about energy and that whole space. I know solar doesn't have like the gigawatts or anything behind it to actually power anything of significance, but it seems like these the ETF TAN seems to be going higher. Maybe there's some value in some of these names, and I think it would be Enphase might be one. You have another name right here. This name actually got kicked out of the S&P 500 2 years ago, but maybe it's making a battle back. Solar Edge.
So recent earnings here, Sean, on Solar Edge, that's SEDG, and yeah, kind of getting rocked on its earnings, pop and drop off of the open, pop on the reaction, and then off of the open, just sellers stepping right back into what seemed like a previous level of support here just from the prior week, coming into, I guess, when is this, Wednesday, February the 18th, but guess what? We're stair-stepping up, coming right back up. Yesterday's price action a little interesting, so luckily found something that might be of interest to me, where you have that stair-step action post-earnings coming up into the end of the day yesterday, or majority of the day after the morning session. You can see nice little support here, very tight consolidation of 42s with a high of 43.28s. 43.40s was that earnings reaction high, so just going to a higher time frame. Yeah, some of these solar names definitely looking good, but distinctly different from First Solar. Again, FSLR, we just looked at this one, distinctly different, aggressive selling, but maybe we'll see some interesting moves here. Earnings reaction low 208. That's another level that I'll be watching. If we do get a pop, if we do get some bidding here, I do like the way that it closed into the after hours close there at 8 p.m. You can see here periodic lower highs, nice little flag action happening, and then 4 a.m. swap breakdown of that 212 area. Now trading using that earnings reaction low as a potential bit of area of resistance in the pre-market as well here on First Solar. So we'll see if this one shows up first on the blotter off the open.
You know a name that I like here that, I mean,
Hergé.
Yeah, pumping my own tires here a little bit because we did buy this name, you know, sub $90. So nice. It's been a nice move. But I was just thinking about it. Do you know they have a dividend? So you might want to hold Walmart over Target. There's no doubt about that. Walmart's PE 46, Target's PE 14.
Whoa.
Okay. Walmart.
Hello.
I don't even think, does Walmart pay a dividend? Let me just check. Walmart, do they, Sharif? Let me see here. Walmart, no, not really. 0.7 dividend for Walmart, 4% for Target. Right, here's flagpole, a little bit of a build-up right here. Looks like it might want to break out. So I've already gotten some out here around 116, 117, but looking for a break into this 125, 130 area for Target. We got Walmart earnings. Did we get Target? Earnings are, no, there it is, 6 days from now, March 3rd. Joby, I like the stock. Right there, getting a little higher here. Well, we'll have to see. Like, I know there's going to be the tariff talk and everything like that, and retail's had its ups and downs. But with a 4% dividend yield and a PE at 14, I think Target is something that is due for a breakout here as well. And look, Walmart's the belle of the ball. I mean, there's reasons why it has a 46 PE, right? Everything that Walmart seems to be doing is working out for them, including, I think an under-serviced delivery, aspect to it as well as, oh yeah, that's right. It went over. I was like, what happened to the chart? It went over to the Nasdaq. Included in the Nasdaq 100 now. I think Walmart's a good look here as well, but I would prefer just on valuation. We saw Costco got hit on its valuation. I could see Walmart, people eventually getting tired of that PE and wanting to pay less and could sell it down. But anyways, I don't know why I switched from First Solar there or whatever to Walmart and Target, but I saw someone put in the chat there, and Target was 6 days away, March 3rd. I think that should be something to look out for here as retail coming back. Right now, that's the next part of it. I think there's like 84% or so of the S&P 500 reported. So big numbers tonight, Salesforce and Nvidia, but retail just around the corner there as well. So, all right, it's 8:50 here. Lots of good talk, lots of different sectors already today, man. We talked about some of the tech names, some retail, solar names. We got some small cap names with Luis as well. Crypto. I mean, there it goes, man. I have Coinbase. Oh, by the way, the sticky note is now out. Well, it's been out for a minute. And I had written on here Coinbase as being one of the top trades there, 170 breakout, potentially so that's the break long. If IBIT dips, we want that, but it doesn't look like IBIT's gonna dip at all right now. So let's have a quick look. There's 66.5. Wow, that's a good move. Coinbase is probably already over 170. Yeah, boo. So there's the break there. I just like the key level of 170, so we'll see if we can touch some Coinbase today if it gets involved. And then IBIT right here. I actually just noticed it when we were doing that little rundown. I was like, what other sectors could we talk about? And there goes IBIT up 4% as well. So up 3%, sorry, just kicking it right here. Nicely up about $1.50 from yesterday's close. We'll see if IBIT can keep this momentum to the north side right now. Crypto just breaking through 66,000 again. So we'll be talking all about that as it got as low as about 64.5. Or so right there. You're still holding on to Doge, I guess. But
yeah,
nothing major.
I mean, I've held through worse.
Oh yeah. No, I only brought that up because I know that was one name that you and I talk about sometimes.
I mean, Bitcoin, funny enough, remember I was talking about, like, it seemed like it was just yesterday. I was just like, you got to remember Bitcoin and the volatility, the ebbs and flows. And I measured out. I remember you were here as well. I measured out every time, every cycle. 50 to 70% pullback, 50 to 70% pullback. And I was sitting here, and people in the chat as well, they were like, oh no, but this time it's different. This time the governments are holding it. This time, you know how many times I've heard that? This time it's different. Guess what? I really don't care what anybody says anymore. I only like to listen to what the chart and the price action have told me, because at the end of the day, that is what I'm going to be following. So let's go to where do we
think it's
time
going,
frame.
then?
I'm just going to go to like a 3-month right here. You can see here like pullbacks. Like I can do this again, where you kind of measure it out. That's an 80% pullback, and that's in 2018. What about some of these pops from 2021 right here? Look at that, 77% pullback. Right? So that's within a range of how when this thing gets going, sure, it has aggressive moves, it has pretty significant moves, but on the pullback, we're about 50% right now, Sean. So I think we still...
So where would that go? For 70, were we talking about 55,000, or what do we...
I mean, for 70%, if we were to say,
like, where might be a
70%,
measured move?
Yeah, 70% would be about 33s. So
30,000.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was at 100, 125. No one's going to be talking about it 100K lower, right? I mean, that's usually what happens. People start talking about it, and things get going in and around the times where it's been having aggressive moves. A lot of people right here, 100K. They were like, oh, finally at 100K, which is an epic time if you've been watching this vehicle for many years. But it's just doing more of the same, in my opinion. I think so. Just looking at support and resistance, this kind of consolidation here was interesting. This was a 70K breakout, and I really like this consolidation because we had a step up, and these were prior highs here, and we were consolidating within that upper range of some of those prior highs. And again, I didn't know what it was going to do. I was just like, all right, well, if we crack lower, there's a defined level here right at 50K. If we push up higher, there's the defined level here at that 70 to 74K as well. And you can see here, beautiful hold of that resistance turned into support here in April of 2025, but since then we kind of slammed right through it, not really caring about that. So an increasing volume as well with some of the selling that's been happening. So I don't know, I can't tell the future, but all I can say is that there's been sellers on board for the past couple of months at the very least here on Bitcoin as it kind of pulls back off of that 100K. Then it was 75s that we're pulling off of right now. So we'll see this prior consolidation low right here, again, in and around that 50K level. We'll see what it does around 50.
Okay, so yeah, good little look there. And I think it's always important to go back, and especially when you have a relatively new name like Bitcoin that's not, you know, trading on earnings or anything like that. And what you said there about how, forget about everyone's opinion, we just got to sort of think about what the chart tells you, because, you know, in sports, and yay sports, but they say ball don't lie.
Exactly.
And if you, you know, if the ball's out of bounds, it's out of bounds. And if Bitcoin has the ability to get, you know, to have those moves 50 to 70% down, then let's not be surprised about that. I did dip by a little bit there at 66 flat. And I use IBIT as the vehicle to do that. And sometimes we get in trouble and say IBIT's not Bitcoin, but kind of is. It's just obviously it's not the same as Bitcoin. We understand that one is, you know, the physical and one is an ETF. And but if you're going to look at the prices, the only disadvantage, again, to anybody that's holding anything like a BMNR or an IBIT or ETHA would be another example, is, of course, that you have to, I don't know, I know you trade in Blue Ocean. I assume IBIT and all that is going with decent volume in Blue Ocean if you wanted to.
Yeah, every now and then it does some okay volume.
Okay.
I think this one is crypto related as well, right? IREN maybe, perhaps. I don't remember. Technology services, data processing. But yeah, so powering the future of Bitcoin and AI. So IREN sometimes in Blue Ocean does get some decent amount of volume and gives some great opportunities. IBIT every now and then, maybe, perhaps. SLV does some decent volume, but then again, that's a commodity that trades almost 24 hours. So yeah, even though, you know, kind of similar to Bitcoin, right? It trades 24 hours, but SLV gets some of the most volume in.
I was going to say that's really the only what I was getting at too, and thanks for going over the volumes and different names. But what I was getting at is just like, as we hold some of these ETFs, and if you're trading crypto, part of the story could happen over the weekend, could happen, and that's why, you know, the physical Bitcoin, you can just load up your Binance or, you know, wherever you're holding it, Robinhood, and actually physically get out of Bitcoin if you needed to. Meanwhile, you may have to wait for said market, depending on the exchange, to open up to get out of your Ethereum or your IBIT or whatever your Bitcoin if you're holding it on exchange. And then the other thing would be, or off exchange. The other thing here would be MSTR as well. You know, this could be another big day. I wrote down Coinbase today to look at it, but I think that MSTR is another take today as well, right? I think it's risk on. And look, all I've been talking about is longs. This is now out. We got long Coinbase, long Nvidia, long Palantir, long Circle. It's all on here for today. I also want long futures, and I want long silver. So, and long silver's on here at $80. But there it goes, man. The ES now just breaking out through pre-market highs, so that's real good. And so is the Nasdaq right now breaking out as well. So we may like the long, but we're not long right now. We may have to wait for a little bit of a pullback. All right, man, it's 8:58. No Neil, no Brendan, no problem. Adara just killing it up there on the desk. We want to thank her for doing that. Sharif, obviously. Joe, thank you so much for all your input so far today. Obi, I mean, what a great, interesting perspective we have when Obi comes on. I love the chart reading as well. And unfortunately, you guys still have to put up with me. But let's go back over. No, don't thank me for anything. Back over to the desk right now with said Adara and Sharif. Great morning so far here, guys.
Thank you very much, Shauna. Having a great morning myself, though. Someone who's not having a great morning might be David Tepper. CNBC reporting that David Tepper wrote a letter to Whirlpool WHR management saying that they have apparently destroyed shareholder value and they have not taken advantage of these new tariffs in the U.S. Worth noting, WHR is roughly 4.1% of Tepper's portfolio. So interesting look here for Whirlpool. We're going to get right into that watch list, though. How are these futures looking?
Let's look at the SPY, guys. 687 1/3 is where we closed out yesterday on the SPY. Look at where we are now. We're knocking on the door of 690, 689.89. We're up 1/3%. But look where we've been rejecting off that level. We've been rejecting that 690 level since we lost it back on the 12th of February. So first and foremost, if we can get above 690, that's going to be our first level of resistance. We can get above it. We're looking at that clear area of 692.5, 691, 692, excuse me, as the second area of resistance. If we start selling off, we're looking at yesterday's closing print, 687 1/3, Adara, as support.
Let's get right into this morning watch list. Lots to talk about. Of course, today we're going to start with Nvidia in just a moment, but you know, there's tons of names, not always going to get into them on the rundown. So if you want to get involved, go to that link there at tradertv.live.beehive.com/subscribe. Definitely check us out for that morning watch list. There's also Sharif's morning note, which you can get if you are a subscriber of the channel. So check that out as well. In the meantime, we're going to check out Nvidia. This was mentioned earlier today, but it does bear repeating. NVDA, the biggest highlight of the earnings season. As always, last quarter, they beat revenue, they beat EPS, revenue growth, pretty healthy here. Sharif, what's on tap for the company tonight, and what are you going to be looking for?
We are expecting, Adara, $1.54 EPS on revenue of $66.1 billion. They're expecting, obviously, a much larger number for the full year, a little bit less than $214 billion. The stock's only up 2% year to date, so it's been quite flat as of late. They've already pre-announced about $500 billion in revenue, forward-looking visibility over multiple years. Recent earnings beat as well, though. If you're looking for an aggressive move after market, they have been quite muted, even though the report has been quite strong. There are concerns, though, around hyperscalers developing custom chips. We have been talking a lot about this, whether it's Google, it's TPUs, tensor processing units, whether it's Amazon's Trainium, custom silicon, application-specific integrated circuits looking to eat into some of these margins. Adara will have to see if they can maintain those mid-70 gross margins.
Nvidia, are you guys thinking long on Jensen Huang tonight?
I mean, I think
What? No, I know, but I didn't really like the terminology on that.
I thought it was a pun. I'm sorry.
It was a good pun. I just didn't want to get caught saying something like long on Jensen there, but I just said it anyways. There we go. I like it. No, there's no fail. There's fun, man. We're having fun. This is a fun show. But no, look, I have it written down as a long, and we had sort of talked a little bit here about what we could expect from this report. I think we've already seen CapEx, like it's $600 billion in CapEx already noted for this year through all the major spenders, right? And as I told you, Google, you don't have enough money? Fine, we're doing a bond sale, right? We're gonna raise funds that way. No problem, oversubscribed. They can do that over and over and over again. Oracle, like everybody is lining up for NVIDIA products and to build this AI wave, right? And so I have no doubt that they're gonna meet and beat whatever the quarter is. I'm worried, obviously, about the guide, and I just think that will there be a slowdown? That's not something that myself or Obi or anybody can predict. I would say there's not, and I think Jensen, like I said, is a man that speaks well to Wall Street. The last time we had earnings was right into here, and we gapped higher, right? And then that was a nice story, and then we were up there for 3 days, and then we fell back down and went into the same range we've been in for the last 8 months. So for me, very, very choppy, very, very range bound. But today you get the breakout. So I have it written down as a long. I mean, I have written down long 193 if we get that move back in. And that's just yesterday's close. So we'll look at that area right there. Or I thought a 195 break. Just play the momentum to the upside. You have VWAP gapping. What's up, Randy? How's it going there? Man, that coffee looks real good. Hint, hint. So this one, no, very subtle one, Randy. Very subtle hint. Only if you have a second. Don't worry about it. But anyways, 194, a little low there. We could base out and break. So it feels like we're building something up there. I like the breakout, but Obi and Adair and everybody watching, tomorrow's going to be a brand new day. Yeah, exactly. Every day is a brand new day, but in the world of NVIDIA.
Yes.
So I was going to say, and we only speak for our own investments and things like that, but it's never a right thing to maybe make a prediction and put a bunch of capital into something the day before the report. We have no idea what they're going to report, but as far as a day trade is concerned, the volume will be there. It's already done 3 million shares. It's at a great little high level there of that 195, looking potentially like a breakout. But I know what you're going to say because it's something that you always say, and maybe I'm wrong. But that's a good supply zone up there near 195. So that's like an Obiism there.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear what your take is on potentially what Nvidia may do in today's trade.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching this one closely. I don't know if a trade sets up that's somewhat playbook, then yeah, maybe I'll take a bit of a stab at it here. But you can see here weekly, definitely a bit of a supply zone here. We've been trying to push that level since December, Monday, December 22nd of last year. We got up there as well. October, we did break out going into, I guess, the prior earnings level here, or prior earnings date, which was, when was this? In the week of November 17th. So last year. So we did attempt to push, and we kind of gapped down, we sold off a little bit lower, back into that 170s. But yeah, it's been in a range here, as you can see in the weekly, 195s, 194s, 192s, whatever you want to call it, down into 170. So coming into the day today, Sean, we see that it is holding above prior day's highs. So I do like that a little bit here as maybe some confluence for a potential push. Maybe it gets the bid gets front run into earnings. I have no idea, but different iterations kind of going through my mind here for a potential push. But you can see it is kind of holding above some of these prior levels. January 30th, that was the high there, and once again holding above a lot of this price action. So last time we were any higher was that earnings day here on November 20th. Yeah, November 20th. Was earnings day one last time, and you can see we got to a high of 198. So I think everyone's thinking the same thing. Will Nvidia get to and hold above that 200 level so we can make that leg a little bit higher towards those all-time highs? I think markets are strong. You can see that some of these tech names are kind of fluctuating as they have been kind of overbought over the past couple of years. But the market is strong. The SPY near highs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. Cheers.
Let me get that. Boom.
Oh yeah, you got the bear mug. Okay, okay. Yeah, now we show everybody what your true ideas are, eh?
Yeah. Get your claws off my coffee. Yeah, I like this mug.
I have a feeling that that mug may come in handy with our next topic right there. Let's go talk about Circle. Got that rocket jetpack underneath it right now.
Crypto's strong in general, but I don't think anything is as close to as strong as CRCL. Certainly correct us if we're wrong here, but Circle, guys, massively to the upside. Nice earnings report, or at least nice earnings reaction for CRCL for fiscal 2025 and Q4 2025.
Revenue really benefiting here, Adair, from a 72% year-over-year rise in the USDC circulation, up to $75.33 billion, with total revenue from reserves climbing up to $733 million, adjusted EBITDA up 412% year-over-year, taking up that $167 million mark, and total on-chain, I should say, transactions in USDC also rose 247% year-over-year. Now a little bit shy, a tiny bit shy of $12 trillion on the year. And guys, USDC remains pegged to the US dollar and is backed by the shorter dated treasuries as well as US cash. And they made money on those treasuries, ironically enough, having to hold them as a result of regulations. But there is optimism still around stablecoins increasing circulation following the passage of the Genius Act. We'll have to see exactly how they do, but they received primary approval to establish a national bank trust. I think that was a few months ago, and they're looking at integrating that into their operations.
I think you guys are both looking at Circle today. One of you actually already involved in Circle, so I'm sure there's a lot to say for this one, guys.
Okay, Obi, I didn't realize you're short already.
I've been kind of dabbling in on it. I've mainly just taken some paper cuts here, getting short, watching it, getting a feel for some of this action here as it is pushing up into that 75 level. But yeah, decent earnings report, blowing it out of the park here. Estimate was what, 15.15, and then reported 0.43, so about 185% surprise I'm seeing here. So decent reaction on that. I guess opening up, it'll be gapping up into some prior levels. So let's just take a look here on the daily real quick, 1 day. See where we're getting ourselves into. So you can see here. Oh, that's that position from the picks there. But yeah, so we're seeing that it's just pushing up into this level right here. This kind of was support in and around that 75 area. Maybe some prior levels here at 64s. We already pushed past that, breaking out of that area on that earnings report that we got this morning. Pretty decent move here. You can see that's a pre-market level 73.5s. So 73.5. That's what we're trading at right now. In the pre-market, we got to a high of 74.65, so almost in there. We had this 1 day, which was very interesting as well, on January 28th, where we had that gap up and just got slammed right in. So definitely, this is a prior area that has shown that it was support. And then on retest, where we've gotten one retest so far here on that January 28th, we see that support turned into some resistance. So we'll see if there's more of the same here. Again, if we're gonna trade it higher, I think that some of this area does have to show us some conviction in terms of can buyers hold it above this level. But great earnings report.
Look, when's the last time? Yeah, great little look there. And yeah, it's funny because when you're a relatively new company, you know, you got to be prepared for those kind of earnings reports, and we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know the last time I even put Coinbase on the sticky note, and I'm not even sure like what got me into this other than I looked down and I saw Bitcoin trying to go. It was like at 65.5 or so. And I said, you know, what name other than IBIT will the viewers and myself potentially like to, hey, there's a brain there, like to trade? So I just said, you know, crypto's starting to bounce. You know, that's 4 days now downside. We'll see if we can get a bounce now for Coinbase. Also watching dips. That was on, not dips into for 131, 136. That was IBIT 36 to get into, not 136. I'm going to edit that. But we were looking at Coinbase, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay. There goes Coinbase right now. And, you know, we were looking at that 170 break. So it looks like 170 was a good area. I mean, we broke it. We went up to 171. We came back. We held 170 again. And now it's upside. Now we got help and support from the 25 period and the 50 period and VWAP. So, yeah, man, let's go. We like the bull run potentially starting now in Coinbase. Let's get this stock long and let's see where it winds up going. 175 right here on the daily. That's that break long right there. And there's some names that have been beat up, right? I mean, Coinbase is definitely gonna be one of those. Coinbase was just at 420 bucks back in October, down to 160 now. Obi, like you wanna talk about something that's gotten super beat up, that would be Coinbase. And if you're gonna go over here and just look, their PE right now, 36, pretty reasonable for a growth name like a Coinbase. So we're gonna see where that winds up going. Another name to look at today, Hut 8 would be another name there. We had this mouse. We had Eric Jackson talking about Hut 8 not too long ago as well. This name he brought up, I think it was $40 to $45, now up to $60 in Hut 8, trying to get going here as well, breaking long, only up 1.69%. Doesn't have the following. I think this was, what is that, January? No, it must have been in here. I think this was the Eric Jackson move, 50 to 51 bucks right there. Then it faded and back up. Okay, so, you know, looking to break through here. I think Hut 8 is another one of those plays that you have to look at if you're talking the crypto space. And then, you know, we already went over MSTR and all that, but BMNR, if you're interested, that's up 6.5% today as well. And you want to talk about a name that's really gotten hit there on Ethereum. They've staked something like 3 million, is it 3 million Ethereum or something? So they've really built up quite the stake there. So if you do believe in ETH, do some work on BMNR because they're also getting higher. But for me, it's gonna be Coinbase. I like the name, 170. Let's sit there and see what happens on Coinbase 170, guys, today. All right, here we go. We talked about this earlier. I like Netflix. I like the live aspect to it. I like, you know, we talked about sports, them getting into sports. There's that cool, did you watch that guy climb Taipei 101?
I saw the Netflix special.
That was it. Yeah, that was. Oh, the special. Did you see him actually climb?
No, I didn't see.
Yeah,
I didn't watch either. But I saw that it was on
for
Netflix.
me. But that was. Can you imagine climbing something like that without any harnesses?
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, shout out to people who take real risks, man. I mean, that is crazy. As traders, you know, we obviously love that as well. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, maybe you know, I'll save that for a rainy day. But that, absolutely wild. I think sometimes when I see that happening, my palms get sweaty just watching.
Oh, I couldn't. Like I was watching it. So the good thing about it is my son really wanted to watch it, and we were busy, so we couldn't watch. Oh no, it got rained out. The first attempt was rained out. That's what it was. So, and then the next one, we were busy the next day, so we watched it the following day. So I already knew the dude didn't die. So for me watching it, it was easy. But like if I was watching it live, I would have been like, honestly, even watching it, knowing the end result, it was too freaky. But anyways, all right, let's go back there. Did you guys happen to watch that dude climb that Taipei 101? That was pretty interesting. But anyways, Netflix, here we go. Any looks back there for that particular episode or whatever it was?
I did not watch it or know what it was.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Sean. I apologize.
But yeah, Obi mentioned risk there. So with regards to risk, NFLX kind of took some by letting PSKY and WBD get into those talks for about a week. And it looks like this might be working against them because PSKY here, with an offer the WBD shareholders are maybe open to here.
Popping it up from $30 into $31 per share, guys. Still remains an all-cash offer. The offer does include a $7 billion breakup fee if regulatory approval fails. Speaking of the breakup fee, Paramount's also agreed to cover the Netflix breakup fee with Warner Brothers, which is slated here at $2.8 billion. WBD's board is still reviewing the offer to see whether it's, quote, a superior proposal. That is a technical term. Netflix did agree in December to acquire WBD Studios for $27.75 a share. The deal, the Netflix deal, values the entire company at $72 billion, but when you actually look at the assets, it's $82.7 billion, of course, because they're not taking on the legacy media assets. If WBD deems Paramount's bid superior, Netflix will have 4 days to improve its offer, obviously issue a counteroffer. Paramount is seeking to acquire all of WBD, and this would unite two of the 5 largest Hedera movie studios, which is, of course, Warner Brothers and Paramount.
Certainly lots on the line, guys. Is Netflix or PSKY or WBD on your watch list?
Not on mine, but I do understand that it's going to be a popular name, and we had talked about. Now, I mean, it's on the watch list for sure. I shouldn't say that, but it's not necessarily one that I'm super excited to look at today with so much other things popping. But you know, we always look whenever there's good news and you have a little bit of a gap. You kind of look at that pre-market bottom to see if it's going to hold. I don't know. And like Netflix has had some crazy moves that really are hard to figure out. Like this was yesterday's open. Like what? 78 down to 75? Sorry, 2 days ago down to 75 and then all the way back. And this is yesterday's open as well. Move back to 75, up to 77, back down to 75.50. And then, you know, so obviously a very, very news-based situation here. So I would just say, you know, I don't want to look at it early because something could happen early on. But if it does, this looks pretty good to me, 78 and change. So maybe a long down there. I don't really look at Warner Brothers or Paramount. I would say Netflix is probably the trade, and I would wait for $78, but not a name that I've been looking at throughout this whole sort of run. In my own personal account, most recently bought it in the mid-80s, didn't buy anything on that dip into the mid-70s. So I think it's a wait and see on whether or not this deal accrues and you know, how it looks once it even hits their income statement. They're going to be wind up paying, you know, close to $90 billion for Warner Brothers if it winds up going through. That's a hefty price tag these days. So yeah, but it's in there. I don't know if AI can really affect sort of the streaming aspect of Netflix, but I know Netflix was trying to get into gaming.
Yeah.
And I think they can use AI to their advantage to curate better lists for people, you know, force programming that people may want to watch. And yeah, you know, if AI, and we've seen some stuff with Nano Banana and some of these other opportunities to create content outside of traditional methods, right? And so if you have AI creating, maybe they'll have like a hit. Like as far as I know, K-pop Demon Hunters could have just been all created using AI. Like I mean, shout out to Canada, by the way. That's the woman involved there, executive producer and creator, is from Toronto. So shout out to that. But anyways, I just feel like Netflix could be a beneficiary of this AI dominance. But anyways, I like the stock down here. Any technical looks for you on it, or?
Yeah, no, I think I'm watching that. I think it's funny that both of these are kind of fighting for that WBD. I was trying to look up a certain video that I saw just a few days ago, but there's a lot of these going around where you're getting that professional studio-like production. And it can be so the video was like, oh, if there was a team of animators and a whole studio, this would have taken them, $500,000 in the course of over a month. And this dude in his basement and a couple of hours with I think C-Dance was a big one, the new Chinese AI video making AI. So C-Dance is absolutely solid there as well. I know some of the production that's coming out of it, but it's funny that they're fighting for WBD when I think in the near future, probably by the end of 2026, if these companies really don't get on that ball, they definitely will be left behind. But you make a good point. It's a streaming service. Like first and foremost, a streaming service. That's how they get their revenue from those subscribers. And even if they have productions that are coming in, regardless of from whether they're buying it from studios or they're making it on their own, that they're going to be the funnel that kind of provides those videos to the people. But yeah, a little bit of a gap up here, trading a little bit higher here relative to some of prior action in this week. You can see Monday coming in aggressive selling, and then trending up pretty much all day yesterday with that bit of a swoop into that after hours action. But yeah, I'm still watching. It's still kind of in range here. You can see here some prior resistance. I do want to point out bigger picture. This thing has just been selling on any and every news piece, but this could be something different. We got the first on the weekly, Sean. You can see here we've just been selling off aggressively. 134 is broken down 114, broken down 105s, breaking below this 82 level here.
That's
as well.
A weekly?
This is a weekly.
So
chart.
we don't have any up weeks.
Well, last week closed a little green. So after multiple, let's measure these. After about after 10 red bars with somewhat of an increasing volume, you get a first little bit of a green week. Let's see if we're already breaking prior week's highs right now. So maybe we get that bit of a bounce, bit of a reversion off of this. I have no idea, but prior bars are, I guess, technically breaking off the open if we continue trading around 79s here on NFLX. So we might see that bit of a move there. I'm definitely watching.
I didn't realize that weekly chart. That's like 10 or so straight down weeks there. So, pretty nasty. You always think after a split, the stock should get some retail attention and start to go higher, but not true this time around for Netflix. Did you know who reports tomorrow? CoreWeave. Oh. So that should be, there's a lot of exciting names coming in the next little while. I saw someone put in the chat, CoreWeave tomorrow. That should be really exciting. Tonight, make sure you stay tuned with us tonight. We'll have the after party, the Nvidia Watch Show. Earnings Watch Party is on today. So join us at 4 p.m. as we'll go over Netflix. We won't go over Netflix. Nvidia, Salesforce, a couple other names hitting tonight as well. So get ready to join us after 4 p.m. Today. Oh, by the way, we didn't even mention this, and I don't know if there was a read or not, Andre, but start your journey today with Trader TV Live. I mean, I was actually just going through some videos right here with Trader TV Live. Look, this is Brendan right here. Stories from the trading floor. So, okay, here we go. Here's Sharif right here. No, get this guy off the screen immediately. But anyways, it's talking. Look at this. What challenges did you face early on? Brendan just used the word dabbles right there. So, check out what's going on here. We're all talking about this. What was your first trading lessons? How did they shape you? I'm just glad I'm not wearing the same shirt in this that I am now. But anyways, get going with this, man. This is an awesome, well-produced, and look, like as you go, what keeps you motivated? Hey, there's my guy, Neil, right there. Next topic, there's Sharif, what keeps you motivated? How did you get started? Where did you get started? What's the most important things to learn? And guess what? This is just one of 4 lessons that you're going to watch in the first syllabus, I guess, the trader's journey, right? Then we go introduction to the curriculum, then the PA market access, and the foundations of trading. And it's all to be found right here, right now at Trader TV Academy. So scan that QR code right there. Everything's up and working. get going with the Trader TV Academy. Sign up today, a format that we've all followed in our trading journey. That is the Trader TV Live Academy. All right, 7 minutes to go. I only mentioned CoreWeave because I saw this HPQ reporting as well. Let's go find out what they're talking about at the desk, and I'll pick up my pen.
Yeah, let's discuss HPQ out here with earnings. Not a bad report here. Looks like an EPS and a sales beat, but some of this guidance a little bit mixed or in line, Sharif.
Yeah, beat on the top and bottom line, as you said, Adara, with net income coming in at $14.44 billion, beating the 13.94 and growing at a healthy 7% year over year. That's where the growth year over year ends, even though they were profitable on the quarter, bringing in $545 million. It's less than what they brought last year, $565. More on that in a second. Basically, management is citing rising memory prices, roughly double what they were paying in the prior quarter, as some of the reasons that their margins are compressing. There's the surge in AI-driven data center demand is pushing up memory prices, as we've reported to you guys many times on the show, and HP does plan to address it. They want to raise prices selectively. They also want to work with lower-cost suppliers, and they actually want to reduce memory configurations, which could actually affect the performance of some of the servers they ship out. They're also looking at cutting, sadly, 10% of their workforce, as the interim CEO, Bruce Broussard, who was appointed after the outgoing CEO, Enrique Lores, moved to PayPal. They are looking, Adara, for a permanent CEO.
You'll have to see how that CEO search goes. In the meantime, are you guys searching for entries on HPQ today?
Yeah, no, I think this one definitely was not on my radar, but thank you for pointing it out. They're gapping down into some prior levels here. So going to the weekly, you can see here we haven't seen some of these prices since 2020, Sean. So yeah, a bit of a break of this very sideways action. 21, 22 couldn't really get anywhere, but I'll continue to watch this one. Maybe something Playbook sets up, and maybe we can catch some prints on HPQ.
Ooh, like that one. I just wanted to briefly talk about, and I know you were just on HPQ, but you know, Nvidia's looking like it wants to break right now. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because it just hit. And of course, Obi, we know about this because we talk about it all the time. And you actually even have an alarm set up for the PM ones, but there's the imbalances just came out right now. So you're going to see these are all going to start to kick around just a little bit. There's Uber. I actually like Uber and Joby, man. We talked about that deal with Uber and Joby earlier. It's not on the board, but that's going to be one that we'll talk about as the day goes on for Joby. There's SoFi trying, whoops, that's IBIT. IBIT's with the sell, but that's okay. SoFi trying to get through 20. We'll see if that can happen. Just at 19.30 right now. I feel like it has a $20 ticket on it right now. We just talked about Netflix. There's Netflix with a 125 buy, right? So that's starting to get going. And these are all market on order, market on open order imbalances. So all these trades will hit basically right when the stock opens up on New York or Nasdaq, and then you could possibly see a little bit of a retracement back in. So there's nothing that's super significant here, but let's just say this was like 2 million on BAC. What would happen is you would probably, and it's a sell, so you would flush down, and then you'd get a print somewhere for 2 million, and then, you know, once that sell pressure is gone, we like to relieve that and then get back up to the upside. So for right now, this is what we're looking at. ZSL, of course, would be an SLV long. So this is a silver ETF inverted, right? So right here, looking at silver, we'll see if it can get a dip down. I wrote down $80 on SLV, and I know we're going to talk about metals next with lithium. So silver, if it can come back in a little bit, I like that trade. And then we wrote down 80. That's your 200 period moving averages in, and sort of the top range from yesterday. So I don't think silver gets down that low, but definitely something to look at today. 80, the very bottom that we want to buy, 81.50 is where your 200 period moving average is. All right, let's go talk about lithium. We saw some good moves in the EV space yesterday. Let's go find out what lithium's doing today.
A nice look for some of these names. I mean, now we have a little bit of a pullback. Here's LAR Lithium Argentina pulling back a bit. Another one to watch here, ALB, Albemarle, of course. Basically, these names gapping up after we had Zimbabwe suspending exports of lithium concentrates and other raw materials.
Yeah, and this ban is going to remain in place, Adara, until mining companies who operate in the country actually establish in-country processing operations. So reshoring the supply chain for domestic jobs is the objective here. The move does accelerate a prior plan that they had already in place, which targeted 2027 to end concentrate exports. But traders here are reacting to the potential tightening in the global lithium concentrate supply. But let's be very clear about this. There's one country that is more exposed than all the others to Zimbabwe lithium. That is China. They have many different companies who have spent billions of dollars building out the infrastructure there. Shaanxi, Huaihe, Cobalt, and Sinomine are some of the biggest ones. So we're going to have to see how this affects supply chain and price, Adara.
Any thoughts on any of these lithium tickers today, guys?
For me, the big one, and I've talked about this, and I think it was like around $5 or $6, and I haven't looked at it since, and I haven't bought, okay, it's still the same price. I was going to say Lithium America would be a name that we've looked at. Oh, I guess it wasn't 5 or 6. It was between 4 or 5, where we had this nice base there. And yeah, wow, God damn, man. So many opportunities and so little time. And so little money. But right there, it's the money part's the problem, actually. Right there, 4 to 450, man, great little base. This looks like it's going to kick out back to the upside. Like we've held 450 now all the way back to November, and with this market sort of turbulence that we've experienced recently, it's only going upside. So I would say LAC today up 5% off of a great base. There's also MP Materials has been a good one as well. As we know, the U.S. has a stake here. Okay, only a minute left. Was there anything that you were looking at, Obi, in this space? Or?
Yeah, just LAC. Okay,
same
kind
one.
of.
Okay.
That's the first. Whenever anyone says lithium, I pull up LAC to see what it's doing, just because I have a bit of a past with it. Definitely doing some relative volume here in the pre-market session with a push above that $5 mark, which we got to yesterday. Very strong day yesterday. You can see towering volume bars, both in the morning and the end of day session there. But we'll see if LAC is going to give us some continuation on the day today as well. But yeah, only about 20 seconds there until the open. So
I have Palantir on my mind.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Obi. I have Palantir on my mind here as well, so we can have a quick little look. 129 to 130. We'll see if that can come through right now. 10 seconds to go here. Make sure you do scan that QR code, get part of the Trader TV Live Academy today. And now we are now open. So let's go, man. Always great to have Obi here, a little different perspective, a little different trading style, obviously, than Neil and myself. So we're going to look over and figure out what this trade looks like here today as Palantir down into 130 right now. I've written down 130 to 129 long on PLTR. Let's see if that can hold out. We can maybe start the little bidding right now. We had a good trade yesterday on Tesla when we started it a bit early. But now into VWAP, we'll see if we could take a bid. There's the 200 period moving average. We were just bidding 130.15s. We'll see if that can come in. If it does, then great for that. Nvidia, whoopsies, put Nvidia over here. NVDA, that was a name that we were looking at, that 195 breakout. It does not happen. It actually turns right around from 195. So we go to our note. We talk about a 193 potential there for Nvidia. I'm actually missed the boat here a little bit on Palantir, so I'm going to have to pay up just a little bit for PLTR. Buy some 60s right now. Very, very light, man. We just want to get started so we can watch it a little bit better right now. We'll go long at 130. Here goes Nvidia trying to break 195, though, Obi.
Yeah, I'm watching the Nvidia pretty closely here. Circle as well. Circle, I don't think, a little bit of a late open here on Circle. It's still kind of, tapping around here, but 74s. The spread is absolutely nasty there. There goes Nvidia. That was a tap of 195. No, we got to 90.
I'm trying to go long.
There it is. 195 is the high as of right now, but getting a bit of getting some sell pressure every time we knock against that door here. Is Circle open? Circle's still not open, dude. Oh my God. It reminds me of HIMS yesterday. A very, very late open, but 15 was a beautiful place to kind of get in, but you had to give it a bit of a wide risk. But again, these are the things. This is what happens with these NY stocks here every now and then, where the open is not the best. There's 75s pushing here on a Circle as it is definitely now open. 76s, absolutely crazy here. So let's see if some of that buying pressure can give us some dissipation, or we get some continuation here. 195 still knocking on the door, man. Cannot get through that 195. I think I'm just gonna be patient with this one.
I'm going long.
Let it get through 195 and see. There's a lot of size there on 195 as well.
We
yeah.
I was going to say Palantir, man, we're already taking it. So there it is, props it up. We did it yesterday, we're doing it again today. We almost got $1 on, well, we did get $1, but we didn't take it. 131.50 it just printed out to, and we paid up for Palantir a little bit. So we'll take some out there. We'll see if it wants to fade back out. Yeah, man, the market is rocking and rolling right now. Our Coinbase, I guess, it's got to wait for 170, so I'm still going to be bidding 170 on Coinbase. Maybe that can come in, maybe it can't. We'll see on Coinbase. You're in circle, so we talked about that already. And then yeah, Nvidia waiting for that 195. No, not at all. Nice little pullback right now into the downside here, Obi, for Nvidia as it just pulls back into 194. VWAP already broken, but 194, a decent spot. I'm going to try to buy a little bit down there. And again, just starting the buying, right? We don't necessarily want to get too much ahead of the prices that we like. We like 193 over there right now. Here it goes, man. Can we get to it with Palantir? We just went to 131.50 again. We'll see if we can get that dollar club printing here a little bit there for Palantir. Coinbase, Palantir, Nvidia, Circle, you're already on that. And then silver, one more look on SLV. It's going, okay, there it is. We are now long on Nvidia. New trade alert right here. It's another one. Long right now, Nvidia, 124.20. As we get Palantir now, so we're going to wait for Nvidia right now. Long off the 200 period, moving average right here, 194. We like it. It's Nvidia. Let's go.
Yeah, that Nvidia definitely had to be a little patient for that one. This Circle is definitely chopping around. I'm just like, all right, cool. The action, honestly, I thought the pre-market was a little sketchy, but Circle in the pre-market was much nicer to trade off of than it is as of right now here, right off of the open. Absolute craziness. If you guys are watching this thing, sometimes the spread opening up to like 30 to 50 pennies there, and when it wasn't open, it was almost $1 at times. So it did knock against 75, 76 is the high right now, as you guys can see. And then Nvidia as well. I got a little, I tried the short through some of those pre-market lows, and then it just slaps right back up. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know if it's going to chop around here. Market very, very strong as well. We talked about that HPQ. So anyone who was long definitely printed on that HPQ, because look at this price action, Sean. Right off of the open here, let's go straight to a 1-minute chart. Pre-market highs, bye-bye. Reaction highs, bye-bye, right there. So it goes all the way from 17 in the pre-market, opens at 17, $18 roughly, and then slaps up to 19. Now, beautiful reversion happening here on HPQ. Let's take a look at some of these other earnings names here. FSLR, how are you doing, FSLR? Again, one of my top ideas, not doing what I was looking for. I was looking for that potential continuation there. As I said before, let's throw that anchored VWAP back on here, and you can see nice little consolidation in and around that anchored. So let's see if sellers kind of step in here. This is the average weighted price here. So that is the anchored VWAP, anchored to the earnings reaction there. So that's on FSLR, LAC. We were looking at some of these as well. So I'm looking for where is the next trade. Circle's just chopping around this 75. I think I'm going to wait for it to calm down here before I get involved. But there is one that is unlike the others here, Sean, and that is Tesla.
Oh, what the?
Tesla at 420.
Okay.
Nice. 420.34 is the high as of right now on Tesla. Straight leg up. Pre-market consolidation was taken out there. Pretty decent day yesterday as well, where we kind of, chop in the morning, but higher highs and higher lows all the way into the close. And then this is what I really like. Holding some of those closing prices, holding that support in the pre-market session, and then boom, 411 halves straight to 420. What's up, Adara?
Big one.
I just want to mention here, no story really on TSLA. Only headline I'm seeing is apparently the company has filed a U.S. Patent and Trade Office appeal against Unibev over their CyberCab trademark. So TSLA, only story I'm seeing for this big move to the upside. As Sean alluded to, we don't have any economic data coming from 9:45 or 10, so no data from me. If you hear from me since then, it'll be either news or clarification. Back to you.
Yeah, so we're so far so good, man. We'll do a little face slapper action. We've got Nvidia down there at 194. We got a couple outs here in 40s and 50s, so that's working out. We're gonna have to wait to see what Palantir wants to do. It's coming back in. We bought a little cheap down there at 130 at the 200 period, but I'm gonna wait for our sticky noted level down there at 129. So I'm just gonna wait now because the market's going one way, and you can see right now Palantir going the other way. So we don't necessarily want to step in right now. Let this name settle down. It's only 937. Like, look, yesterday on Tesla, we had 398s. So, I mean, the fact that this went all the way to 418, huge move again here today. 418 now went up to 420 and then faded off of that level. Looks like it's trying to base out right now and actually get going higher. Google had quite the morning so far, and it was up and down. Google all the way down to 309.50, back up to 312. So they're boom, boom. Complete V-shaped recovery there in Google. So not really surprising, but that is what it's doing. First Solar right now, and this is why I'm saying it's always so hard new position right now. We just got in Coinbase. First Solar getting some back as well. Bad report for them, but what the heck? They were a 196 at the beginning of the day, Obi. You may want to look at this one actually. 196 up to 212 right there on First Solar. And we'll start the bidding now on Coinbase right now at 170 the whole market's trying to come back in. So some of these longs right now not holding out the greatest. Back over to Adara. No?
No, we got a
super chat.
CoreWeave.
Yeah, CoreWeave. Okay, we can, you want to look at that? I just got into Palantir right now, so I'm going to try to manage this right here. CoreWeave, remember, Obi and Nick W, reporting tomorrow is CoreWeave, but Palantir just came into 129, so I'm going to have a look down here.
So thank you for the super chat here. So CoreWeave, I guess it held VWAP pretty decently off of the open there. Slow trickle up in the pre-market session. Wasn't really seeing any crazy amount of volume here, even relative volume. You can see below 1 times on a 5 period, but pulling back into VWAP, you can see every time it does that so far today, it's been kind of bid up. So maybe a potential continuation from yesterday, as yesterday as well, you had a pretty strong push into the end of day, and we're getting that continuation here once again. So decent volume, I guess, off of the open that I'm seeing here on CoreWeave. So thanks for pointing that out. Again, not really one of the main ones on my list here. I did get involved with a little bit
we're
of
rocking.
Oracle here. What are you rocking?
Yeah, we're rocking right now. There goes Coinbase. Coinbase is $1 in the money right now, so that's going to be a good trade. Again, posted up here on the sticky note today. Coinbase 170 trade of the day for me. We're up 70 cents now right there. And here we go, man. Also on this list, this name, Palantir 129. So we're long Palantir 129. We got a decent position here as well as that goes to 129.80s right there, and we'll start to cash out a little bit of Palantir on the upside as well, just bouncing off of the 200 period moving average. Boo. Was hoping we would break that. We sit a little bit in front of it at 83. It comes completely to 130 and turns around. So a little early celebration there on Palantir, but there it goes. We'll take a 65. I'm also waiting again at 88 there. So if we can get that move, that would be great for PLTR as it's retracing completely back there to the upside. So all good, man, on this front right now. We got Nvidia, Palantir, and Coinbase, but it's all temporary, Obi, because if this market falls back in, we are very, very risk on right now with 3 very aggressive names. Back over your. Oh wow.
Yeah, Oracle.
You've got Oracle. Okay.
This thing is slapping around pretty crazily here. We could not hold that 150 off of the open, trading below VWAP, and yeah, some aggressive moves both ways here. Wow, on Oracle as it pushes right back up into 149. So I was just watching it closely earlier, kind of a slap down back through 148 and then bidding right back up. So very, very aggressive action here on Oracle. Now, again, this is a bit of a beaten down name at the same time. If you guys have been watching this on a higher time frame, we've been talking about it and some short reports as well on this one as of recent. There goes Circle. Circle is potentially headed for its opening range low, which is sitting at 72.39 here, but both the Nasdaq and the ES very, very strong here on the day, continuing to catch a bid. So the question I'm asking here is, who is the strongest of them all? And that's Softy and Tesla. I haven't been looking at Meta here. Let's take a quick look at Meta, and Meta as well, very, very strong. So kind of I think Meta was sold off aggressively. Was it on Monday? Yeah, on Monday, along with some of the other names here, tech names or software names, but catching a bit of a bid and catching a bit of a reversion at the same time. Here's those 72s on Circle. So it seems like it could not hold that 75 very well. There was a bit of a held bid here in the pre-market at 73.80s that I was kind of watching, and coming in into the open, I do kind of consider those sometimes as being as somewhat significant. So we are trading below that, but back into VWAP here on Circle. So maybe I can take a potential continuation, but I'll continue to watch that here as well. But what are you guys trading? I want to know. I'm curious. So throw it up in the chat. Oracle saying Sean Hazel. Yeah, I'm watching that as well, holding VWAP as of right now. Things could change though. First Solar was very strong off of the open, and now it's catching a bit of a pullback back into VWAP here.
Coinbase is like just really interesting because I keep panicking because I have shares here, and the spread is not what I'm used to as far as like I generally will trade 1 to 2 penny spread. Like the biggest we'll get is like a name like an Oracle or something that might be a little off, or a Tesla that has a little bit of a bigger spread. So this is a little different. So I've topped out a couple times here at VWAP at 171. It was not going through. So we're long at 170.20, and this could fade out real quick, man. So we're gonna try to do our best here and try to hold on to this. But if it does break down, we have to be really aware that this is a name right now breaking through one. I was only going to give it to 169.35. Or so. This mouse, I got to do something about that. Here's 169, so right into here. Like if we break that back down below, I don't want to do 169.50. Let's go 169.35, or I was going to go 169.40. 169.34 break on this. We're going to get out. I don't know if you necessarily want to average into it. Let's see if it wants to work. If it does, great. If not, see ya later, alligator. All right, man, 56 cents in the money right now for Nvidia. We like that one, and again, that was basically almost perfect to what we wanted. We wanted it back down into the 200 period moving average. We get that gift. So there it goes. Nice move there for Nvidia. Still looking to buy 195 if it breaks long, right? I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah, there's going to be some size there. I don't mind averaging into it if that's what winds up happening. We'll wait to see the size when we get there. So let's just offer a little bit more out in front of that level, and then we'll just go from there on NVDA, see if it wants to kick out a little bit higher as well. Palantir 129.30, interesting level to look at for PLTR, as right now it's trying to get through 130 as well. So, hey man, we've got nothing but winners on so far today. Coinbase, Nvidia, and Palantir, 3 for 3. And guess what? Coinbase, Nvidia, and Palantir all written on today's sticky note. You can go find that on X. So we'll go 3 for 3 on the notes, and almost the prices were hit. So, good day so far there today. Get some more out here at 130, and then just look for some other opportunities. You're short Oracle, so that's the only name that Obi's in right now, and the only name that I really like an Oracle short. We did talk about that a little bit earlier today. There's PayPal. More love for PayPal today, up another 2.5% as we talk about potential acquisition or something of PayPal, with Stripe maybe kicking the tires. We heard Sharif reported today maybe JP Morgan potentially interested in get some PayPal in their life. Unfortunately though, SoFi downside. I was hoping that I would look at this thing and we would maybe have breached that 1950 again, but it looks like we are not doing that at all. We're actually heading south side right there. Oh boy. All right, man. Yes, sir. Man, the net is elevated right now. There goes Coinbase. Let's go. That's $1 in the money on Coinbase. It's $1 in the money on Palantir. It's 40 cents in the money on Nvidia. So, we're really rocking right now. Let's see how high Palantir can fly right now. Out there, out VWAP. Next out, guys, let's go 130.50 for PLTR and give you guys, hopefully, a decent start to the morning as we go, man. Make sure you do scan that QR code, get part of Trader TV Live Academy, and see how this wild man learned how to trade. But there it is. Palantir now up, Coinbase up, everything working so far.
Yeah, no, this Oracle is getting a little sticky here in and around this VWAP. But yeah, shout out to anybody who is along, because the market continues to bid higher here, trading past what is this, 25 threes almost there on the Nasdaq, and then 69.45s here on the ES. So second 15-minute bar, very, very green here, continuing that push to the upside as of right now. And yeah, 72 is coming here on Circle as well. So we're holding below VWAP, but I'm waiting. I'm going to be patient here. That 75 chop was absolutely intense, and pushing in and around that VWAP. Again, I'm gonna be a little patient. Let's see if we can hold. Sellers can hold it down with some distinction. Again, great earnings report and very, very strong above this $70 level here as well. Decent consolidation, and you can see stair step, stair step, stair step to the upside. 75 of false, a break there on Circle. So VWAP kind of broke here on Oracle, so I'm probably going to be long gone out of this one very, very soon as it continues to push up here. Again, market tailwind not really helping me out here at all, and it seems like that Palantir, Sean, is continuing to the upside. Wow.
We are now almost $5 in the money on these three positions. Coinbase is now $2 in the money as we write down we write down 170 on here. We write down 129 for Palantir. We write down 193 for Nvidia, but we get a little more aggressive with Nvidia and take that one. We are now really, really making some moves here as Palantir gets up to 131.20. Let's take out another piece now at 21 if we can get it. There it is. Shout out to 21 Savage. All right, man. Now Coinbase. There it is, 170. Booyaka! No Neil, no problem right there as we go slappy to the upside right now. One of the best mornings for myself. Although yesterday we had Tesla. Tesla was a big one. But I think my net might be higher right now than it was yesterday at this time because we're 3 for 3, and that's really nice to see that move. There's Coinbase, there's Palantir, there's Nvidia. I'm still waiting for Nvidia to break 195. We just got up there. I'll get aggressive with it. I crossed up to 195.15. Hopefully that will fill me. And then I was thinking, like, if we lose it, man, I've been really using the 50-period VWAP and all this as an indicator. So I think it's 50 cents worth of space. Okay, so that's going to be the plan of action for that one. Palantir, I don't even have a high side target anymore as we're taking out the day's high. So let's go here, 131.50s or so, but there it is, man. Huge move to the upside. Yeah, there it is. Here we go. This is kind of cool. I don't know if this is true or not. Every time Obi is with Sean flies. So there it is right there. So we appreciate that one right now. I'm feeling the vibes from my guy over here. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, all of his knowledge is just like morphing over here. You know, and, thank you for that. Although I was talking about being heavily long heading into all of this morning today. So, yeah, wow. Okay, we are doing some damage now, guys. $2 Coinbase, almost $3 Palantir, $1 now on Nvidia, waiting for it to break. I'm gonna just put another offer out right there at 90s, or actually at 89s. Get that there on Nvidia. Now just wait for this break through again. So yeah, we're a little excited and just happy to be here, man. It's Nvidia earnings day. We've got Adara on the big desk. Sharif, you guys killed it this morning. I'm with my guy Obi over here. Joe's looking sharp over there. Got some great calls with the upgrades and downgrades. We had options today with Joe as well. We have the Academy that's really kicking. Want to thank everybody for helping us make that a big success. All right, Coinbase, next out, next out, forget it, let's hold it. All right, and then Palantir, we're going. Any updates on Oracle? I'm just waiting for Nvidia to break out.
I mean, it got above VWAP. Now we're kind of chopping around this underneath this 150 here, Sean. So kind of being patient with this one. Let's see if it kind of if those sellers that were there in the morning step back in, or do we get a clip of that 150 once again? And I'm probably going to be long gone before that potentially comes in. And here it is right here. So bye-bye. Thank you. Come again. 150 potentially coming in. This market is hella strong as of right now, so I'm not really too fond of some of the shorts that I've been taking. I'm trying to find something maybe potentially with the market that's setting up. Okay, wow. Okay, so let's go through some of these earnings names once again. Kava was the one to get long with. Again, market tailwind with some decent confluence here at the same time. So Kava broke out of its
come to my
high there.
I don't want to interrupt. You mentioned the size. Yeah. Look at this, man. 7 million shares or so on the offer right now of Nvidia. So Kava's a great name. I just want everyone to see this. Tons of shares right there on the offer of 195 for Nvidia. Obviously, we're long at 194, but we're going to take longer. There it is. There's the break, and I don't have it. So Shoot. All right, there we go. Now we have it. Nvidia pulls all the way back. Let's see where we can get some out, man. It's bouncing around the 30s, bouncing around the 40s. Let's offer some out right now. And let's put this day to the moon right now. Come on, Nvidia. Let's break this through and get going right now on NVDA. Just a couple outs. We talked about we would only try to hold this 50 cents. We'll get out at 20% right now in the 30s, and now let this thing fly. We're long Nvidia right now. Notice that we didn't get long on the break. We got long on the pullback in, as there was like, it takes a minute for all those shares to sort of settle out, and our quotes, definitely lifted off with that. But there it goes. It's Nvidia, man. And oh boy, man, we're having a good day today. It's $3 now, $1, $2, and $3 now on Palantir. And yeah, man, this is a name that we had written down here live for you. Here's the sticky note. I'm going to put the sticky note in the chat right now so everybody can go find it ourselves. There's Coinbase 170 long. That's 250 in the money. There's Palantir 129 long. That's 350 in the money. And then Nvidia breaking 195, which is right here. Possible break over 195 with a dip long into 193. Guess what? We got both of them right there. Thank you for the kind words. Someone on the chat there, I just saw it up there. They said, we got good chemistry, you and I, so I like that. Here we go. Palantir upside breaking through 132, 132.50. There it goes, man. Palantir, Coinbase, Nvidia. Katina Man's cooking, said Wendy's Trader. Yeah, we're cooking a little bit, but hey, man, it's early days. Yeah. Well, early time in the day. It's only 9:52.
Exactly.
We could get cooked at some point. Not Tim cooked or anything like that, but I like to getting Tim cooked, I don't know, does that mean that you all of a sudden like a billionaire? Anyways, Nvidia slowing down just a little bit upside here, Obi. Just stopped there at 195.50.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some, going back to some of these earnings names, definitely that market tailwind is on your side for the longs there. 95.50s coming in now on Nvidia. That break was hella clean there, and I think did you cross? You had an order to cross into it. Which? That 195, or
yeah, I remember I only crossed up to 195.15s.
Okay, and then it pulled back and got you then. Okay, yeah. That's pretty wild there. So yeah, decent breakout there. 60 pennies off of that break. Ooh. So absolutely clean. Dollar breaks back or what? I don't know, Kava was the one I was talking about earlier. Here, earnings day one, so decent continuation, but we already broke that earnings reaction high in the pre-market session, pulls back into VWAP, and then beautiful continuation there, holding VWAP as of right now. Workday was another name here that I did have on watch, and that one as well, Sean. Decent continuation off of open, decent hold of that VWAP level as well as
by the way.
Earnings reaction.
Yeah, Neil's just taking a day off. So Obi, Sean, Neil, all great hosts. I mean, we're actually really lucky to have such great talent surrounding myself all the time. Regardless of who's sitting there. We all learn a lot from each other. And I think that was one of the big points about the Trader TV Live Academy, right, was a lot of people have different trading styles, but the journey is the same, right? And so if you want to find out more about this over 65 plus years of trading experience all wrapped up into Trader TV Live Academy, so go check that out. But yeah, a nice move upside now for NVDA, just breaking, man. And we wanted that 195. It is all about preparation, time spent, in the lab, cooking up your trades. And that's one thing that I really appreciated about Obi, lots of things, but you were the guy that was, when we had the trading floor, all the traders were like, let's go outside for a smoke or something like that after 4 o'clock or whatever they're doing, a coffee break or whatever. And I remember you were the guy that was like, don't turn the lights off. I'm downloading everything so you could back test, run it through your models, all of that kind of stuff. So, putting in the work is this guy beside me, that is for sure. So shout out to have Obi on the show. And that's part of what we talk about in the Academy, right, is the preparation, the discipline to do stuff like that.
Right.
And a good thing you're not doing that as much. Well, maybe you still are doing it now, but now with the price of RAM, and memory,
I'm
those
glad
little Seagate disk drives probably costing you a little bit of money if you were to do that these days. right there. But
no, I definitely should be you know, recording more tape here, but I kind of slowed down on that big time. But I remember those days because it was like I would record literally the whole day, all day long.
It's like it's 4:30 and people are like, we gotta go.
Yeah, it'd be like this huge file, and I'm like, I would transfer it onto my drive so I could go home and rewatch it, and then yeah, it would be like a 20-minute transfer, 30-minute transfer at times, and I was just like, yeah, no, just hold on, give me like 1 minute, and then eventually, you know what happened? Eventually, you guys were like, okay, well, you know, this guy, I guess, is not that bad. You close up gate whenever you're done.
Right. We left you here to close the shop.
So most of the times, I was the one closing the gate there. And then it's good times on the floor for sure. But yeah, no, I think it's all, you know, over time, a lot of times while you're doing it, it might not seem like you're really getting anywhere. You're like, okay, well, I keep on watching this tape, but it's not really showing up. But a lot of the stuff that I'm able to kind of recognize real time now comes from, you know, watching that tape over and over again and being like, okay, well, this is what a held offer or held bid looks like on a large cap, right? This is what the breakout looked like, or this is what the opening range drive looked like, and the opening range breaks, how do they come in, and then, you know, just and the beautiful thing about recording tape and recording yourself trade is you're watching yourself make decisions as things happen as well. So not only are you studying the tape, you're studying yourself.
Yes.
Right, which is a huge thing. So it's just like, you know, that really kind of reiterates some of the decision making that you're doing during the day. And the beautiful thing about recording tape is like you can slow it down to really see certain things that
you can nitpick.
And then what I used to do is I would watch it slowed down, and then I would watch it sped up. Because there's a lot of tape. I watch it sped up, and then when I'd come in the next day and look at tape here and look at the book. Now again, a lot of people talk about, you know, the tape in the book kind of fugazi. You don't really need them most of the time. Very true. You know, I don't deny that. But it's within key places.
Yeah, exactly.
It's within key places that it does matter. You get to see some of the I guess footsteps. Or
so like the nuances of
the
tape, of the move. And I actually like to look at back test things, how they reacting, like you just said, key level breaks, right? That's why we had that 400 break yesterday on Tesla. It's why we have the 195 break is working out perfect right here. Nvidia doesn't have to hit right away, Obi, but it dips down. And this is why we have technical indicators on here. I've back tested this 200 period moving average. Does it work all the time? Absolutely not. Okay, but if you pick the right stocks at the right moment, you can get, you know, plays like that. So that was the dip buy, then there was the break. So Nvidia actually goes 2 for 2 on sort of the strategies today. It goes the pullback, and then it goes the breakout, right? But you don't know any of that unless you can study, you know, the charts and the methodologies that you're testing. And you're never right until you're wrong, basically. Like, you can predict whatever you want to, but at the end of the day, if you're batting 50-50 and have proper risk management, you can be a successful trader, being right 50% of the time. Actually, on some of the models I test, and I think you actually had talked about this before, I don't know if it was from a book or from your own studies, you can actually have a 20% win rate or something. And you know, if you're stopping out for a $1 loss every time, but then let's just say, because I've used 20%, $5 winners, then that will, you know, pair out, let alone share sizing. And if you can find A setups, B setups, D setups, whatever setups, those are the ones that you want to attack. So I just want to get just over to trading just real quickly. Like Palantir for me today, you know, it was near these lows. We talked about, you know, the ES and the Nasdaq really starting to kick, man. I really liked Palantir there today. It was already upside. The good thing about Palantir is it came right into sort of, not even yesterday's close, but just levels. Like I thought 130 is what we wrote down first. That was yesterday's high. So like, I'm definitely not the smartest dude around here. Probably if you're gonna go opposite of that. So it's just like, I found that level, and then I said, okay, well then what about 129 as well? Because it's Palantir, we can't just buy 130s and then stop out if it goes to 129.50. We know this has aggressive moves. So there's the buy, we save our Geez, man, this is now $4. We did this yesterday with a $400 stock. We took $10 or $9.50 on Tesla. This is the exact same trade, but much better. This is now $4 in the money on a $130 stock. So now we're, wow, what in the world? Okay, Nvidia just broke through 196. So there that goes right now to the upside. Coinbase, where are we? That is now 250 in the money on Coinbase. So, you know, it's just part of being well prepared and the market doing what you want it to do. I've sat here and gotten smoked on longs when the market completely reversed. So, you know, trying to get in and out of these trades as expected here. So far, so good. All right, call for Adara, so we shall go.
Really all that's happening now, guys, and what's been happening for the last 30 minutes, is just the market going higher. 692, a little bit of a resistance area here for the SPY as of right now. Nasdaq finding a little bit of resistance here at 616, but overall a little bit more strength when you look at these candles in terms of just straight upside than what we're seeing with that S&P 500. Tons to talk about today. Of course, State of the Union happened yesterday with U.S. President Trump, longest on record. But also here, speaking of records, maybe we'll see if we get any broken here by NVDA. Nvidia, Q4 earnings for fiscal 2026 after the bell. Don't miss it. Myself, Sean, and Obi and Brendan will all be here to cover that with you guys. CRCL is going to be on watch here as well. They did post a double earnings beat. Great gap to the upside, though, right now, just kind of chopping around. NFLX, though, certainly not chopping around. Nice, slow and steady upside movement for Netflix, as we do get the sense that maybe their bid for Warner Brothers could actually have a real challenge at this point from PSKY, who raised their offer to $31 per share. Back to you.
Where $3 in the money on Coinbase, $4 in the money on Palantir, and $1. So right now, as we get ready to talk about Trader TV Live Academy, we're sitting in $7+ again, what's up, Adam DeLuce there? Thank you so much again for your kind talk there. Okay, just 1 second, Andre. Okay, here we go. Now that Trader TV Live Academy is officially live. We are seeing many of you diving into these modules, and we want to thank you for that, and thank you for all the positive feedback as well. The markets move faster than ever here in 2026, as you can see by today's trading. Get the Academy is built for that modern edge. Get started on your trading journey today. The prices are starting here at $480 with an introductory offer. If you haven't joined the tons of traders right now, it's time. Scan the QR code or head to trade. This is important. tradertv.academy and start building your foundation today. This is how we've all built our foundation, and you're gonna learn all about it. I've already showed you some examples of these. There it is, the market story, market fundamentals. There I am again right now. We're talking P&Ls, we're talking everything in that. Wow, there goes Coinbase, by the way, 173.50 right now, just absolutely pumping. But there's that QR code, sign it right now. I've made a post already on the news feed today for the Trader TV Academy about NVIDIA, about this trade on NVIDIA. So go in there, find it out. It's the Academy, and we're really excited for that release and want to thank everybody for doing that. Yeah, buddy, man, what a damn day so far. We're $2 off here on NVIDIA, man. Our long was initially 194. We buy more. And Obi, what do you think about that idea? Buying more into strength, adding up, averaging up into your position.
I mean, a lot of people talk about buy low, sell high. And then I'm like, yeah, that works. But how about buy high, sell higher?
Yep.
That's what you're talking about.
Yep.
And that definitely works as well today, especially as you have that market tailwind. What's happening here? we got some Joey O with the fade in right here. Nice tooth, bro. Yeah, little chilly.
He's zoned out.
Okay, he's in the zone.
Hey, Joe.
He's locked in.
Joe.
He's locked in.
Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure. Man, we got to tell this guy when he's on, man. I don't want, anything happening over here. Yeah. Sometimes you need to know when you're live on TV there. But shout out to Joe. And the thing is, why we showed that focus, man. This guy's looking at his trades, watching this market. And again, thanks to everybody for everything. Obi and not in position. We are totally risk on, man. Today, are you in position? No.
No.
Yeah, totally risk on today. right now. We had mentioned that earlier. And I just want to say, like, where are some of the stops? Well, Nvidia right now is just mooning. So I'm just going to hold on now. No more stops. We don't have too many shares left of Nvidia, about 15% or so. Very light on Palantir now as it's starting to break down. So we just got a whole bunch out there at 133. Like I said, sometimes you talk about average true range. Like, that's a big move, man. $4 instantly up there for Palantir. So we're going to slow down on pumping our tires for longs right now. Coinbase, well executed, small piece out as well. So I'm going to try to hold these all back. Let's use our outs that we've sort of plotted on here. Let's go with the 21, the 20, how it's called. It used to be 21. That was from Max, I believe. Used to use the 21 period, and then I just altered it a little bit, went with the 25. So back down through 172. So it's actually 171. Let's go 171.79 right now. And my stop on this, I just canceled it, was 169.50 on this long. So this is bringing us $4 and it, or $3.50, and we only risked about 75 cents. So here we go. 171.79, 1979, a good year. Some people born in that year. All right, not, and I'll give you the hint. It's not Obi, okay, right now. But all right, so Palantir, same type of thing. What about getting a little bit more out if we break 132? So we'll watch out for that one. And again, our stop on Palantir was 128.79. So I'm always using these 79s, if you notice. All right, so 132 break. We'll get out of half of what we have left, just allowing these things to mature up, which they are trying to do right now. So, but anyways, yeah, here we go. It's Palantir. So, okay, you're back into Oracle. Do you want to explain? Are you seeing something over there?
Here's the thing. So you already know I like my reversions. So I'm like, okay, why did I say I was waiting? I'm trying to be a little patient. I got chopped up in some of the morning action here as well. I'm like, all right, if you're gonna run, I'm gonna let you run. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna be patient and wait for a potential reversion opportunity. And you can see here, markets pulling back here as well. So finally, with some of that market tailwind on my side here, bit of a pullback. So first red candle on the Nasdaq and the ES potentially coming in here. So Oracle kind of works right away, and that's what I like seeing. Something that you get in at the right moment, and it just works right away. Those are some of the better trades for sure.
I want to address something. TTBBC, you are not limited in your geographical location for the academy.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up because someone in the question asked, can we join the Academy if you're part of the United States of America? And the answer, of course, is yes to that. But okay, back over to Oracle. Sorry.
For sure.
We have to discuss the Academy.
I think that's a good thing about some of the content there is worldwide.
Yep.
You remember the older name was Day Trade the World.
Yes.
So literally the world.
Yeah, we have over 60 live markets.
Yeah.
Right now, including Saudi Arabian market, Dubai, everything.
Yeah,
like that.
I saw that email for like next month. Some of the entitlements are free, and I was like, wow.
Well, I guess I shouldn't have deleted that.
No, I'm just like, okay, I want to try out some of these markets if you're gonna give me.
Was there anyone that was interesting that you saw in there?
Euronext.
Euronext, okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that never happens.
And hopefully, I've been told, and we talked about, I think the last time you were on here, when you were trying to fool around with the options. So I was told sort of first quarter, so we're getting close to that.
Yeah,
so we'll patiently wait for that, Obi, as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, decent pullback here, finally coming in on Oracle. So, patience is a thing, and I like to kind of sit on my hands until some of those reversions do show up. And that's the thing with reversions. You got to wait. You got to stalk your prey. You got to watch it move, and then figure out when you want to take the snipe there as well. So, Oracle coming in potentially back into VWAP, but we'll see. The market just started to pull back. This is an aggressively strong market. 25,300 is the level that I'm watching here on Nasdaq as well. So we'll wait and see what we do with that whole dollar area here. But that Nvidia never looked back. That's crazy. I haven't seen a dollar break on Nvidia go like that's what $2 almost.
Yeah. I mean, it went to one. Yeah, exactly. It started to pull back. Just a little bit.
Never looked back. So if you had that edge A, that script order in for the push, shout out to you.
So you can read this if you want.
Jason Financial 133 coming in with the super chat. Thank you very much. Last year I had two winners long, Tesla and short IBIT. probably 400 losers, but I made 59% because I pyramid my position size. Beautiful stuff there.
What does that mean?
So that's something I'm trying to get good at as well. If you guys know who the short bear is, he kind of talks about this a lot as well. So let's look at wow, workday ended up being a great reversion as well here. So what's something that had like a V-shape price action recently, where it maybe trends up or sells off all day, and then it kind of recovers that intraday.
Go ahead, Adara.
SanDisk yesterday, but kind of a more violent version of that.
Okay, so all right, cool. Yeah, this is a little tough one here, but we can go.
Eli Lilly on the daily.
Lilly on the daily. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
back in December, it had a move.
One day.
Let's see if you can see it there. I mean, I don't know exactly what you're looking for, right into there.
Okay, yeah, we can potentially.
Like you had a huge move up, then it faded back out there in December.
We can look at that here. All right, so we'll go to like an hourly, so we can kind of see some of those support and resistances forming. And I think was it this one here in July? Is this the one you're talking about?
No. What I was talking about?
Oh, this one right here.
Yeah, I'm talking about this huge move up there in December.
So basically, if I can, hopefully I don't butcher the concept here. So what I'm going to do here is just look at, like, I know you love support and resistance levels, so we can just go in. What are the support and resistance levels that kind of stand out here right away? Boom, some of those highs, some of those lows as well. And then we can talk about potentially how to. What my current understanding of pyramiding is. I'm still in the process of trying to get better, trying to be like, okay, well, how can I really effectively participate in this? So we had the move up, right? You had the move up, you let it kind of happen, and then you were coming back in. The reversion is happening here. So pyramiding basically is waiting for prior structures to test, and then adding into those, and then trailing your stop with that along the way. So you can see here some prior resistance, some prior support, some prior resistance, and then support, resistance, and support in that consolidation. So you can see on the way down, it gives you those lower highs into some of those levels, and you can kind of just use those as reference points to see that, okay, well, if we held that prior structure, that support now turned into resistance, and we can add into that and then trail the stop down to that prior high as well. So a good example would be, okay, maybe you initialize here and you're risking all the way up to here. You get short here, you risk up to here because that's the prior high, and then you wait, this pop holds this prior level. Now you add into here, now your risk is up to here, and then it comes in, pops, maybe it doesn't get all the way there, but it's holding some of this prior recent structure. You add into there, bring that risk up into here, and then that's kind of like you're pyramiding, you're stepping into it as it shows you that it's going in your direction. So with that, what the great thing about that is you will be the least sized in your losers because you get stopped out, and you will be the heaviest in the winners that are actually working. Good. So that's kind of that pyramiding concept there.
I like that talk right there. We heard some Stone Cold Steve Austin action going on there as you were talking about it. And Joe there today, and I don't know, do you want me to mention it, Joe, or do you want to show you Joe's screen, or do you have it up? I know you don't have your mic right now. If we have Joe's screen, it's Circle. Right there. So he took a piece out of Obi there. It looks like maybe he got stopped out that first trade, which is good risk management, it looks like right there. That's a typical trade for me as well. Excuse me, getting stopped out, frog in my throat, getting stopped out, then getting right back in on a fail break. So congratulations to Joe. That's one hell of a trade right there, my guy. So there it is, man. Joe doing well. And whenever I hear that Stone Cold, it's either Steve Austin's coming in here or I got to go over and figure out what my guy's doing over there. One of the best sort of front things in wrestling when that glass pane breaks and outruns Stone Cold, like Jim Ross. It's Stone Cold. It's Stone Cold. All right, if you don't watch wrestling, you have no idea. Okay, is that a call for Miss Dara in the back? Then let's go.
Hi guys, let's talk here. I have a couple of different headlines. I just saw this one coming here in GEO. This is a Geo Group. Supreme Court ruling apparently leaving Geo Group's contract revenue untouched. So it looks like Geo Group got a Supreme Court ruling in its favor. This headline just came through. What I wanted to talk about, though, was QCOM. Just be aware, seeing this note coming from BWG Global, which is saying that their supply chain contacts are seeing materially lower quarter-over-quarter shipments of premium Chinese smartphones using Qualcomm SoCs in Q1 2026. So it looks like we're going to get less smartphones on a quarter-over-quarter basis coming out of China with these Qualcomm SoCs in Q1. Back to you.
Very much, Dara.
All right, Qualcomm.
Yeah, so market did take a bit of a pullback here. That 25,300 catching a little bit of a bid as we begin to, print the next candle here. I think we got a super chat here by Jason Financial. Thank you very much.
Again,
him saying, perfect explanation. So I hope I did well to explain. Again, if you guys want much more detailed and a proper explanation by someone who is definitely a much better trader than I am, I implore you to check out the Short Bears video there on YouTube. Because, again, he was very, very young when he made that, I got to had the pleasure of meeting him as well one time in those Miami meetups. So nice. Yeah, that was pretty awesome there as well. So
I wonder if people would want a Trader TV Live meetup.
I think they would.
Oh no.
I think they would. Yeah, definitely. I think we're definitely slacking in that aspect of thing. But there goes the market here, 25,300 pullback right here. So
I've already talked about some of the levels. I mean, you're short, so that's going to be good on a market pullback, obviously, as we go. It looks like Palantir is still holding out. We took advantage of that move right there higher on PLTR and was able to get out just another piece. So we're getting lighter and lighter on everything here as this day continues to go through. So that was Palantir. Just a little talk about Nvidia as well. It's changed, but we talked about that 25 period moving average again. And the reason why I studied the 50 and the 200, and then this is VWAP is sort of this blue line there. And it was just half. So I was trying to find a level, and shout out to Adam in the chat there, Mr. Adam DeLuce. Part of my problem was not holding things long enough, and I had to give myself a reason to try to do that. And so I've just mentally been trying to hold, and because I have been here for too long, 20 something years, and then breaks long through there. We've seen so many times retracement back in, like Obi said, like, wow, that move went clean on Nvidia. Normally you don't really see that. You'll get the, I've actually, I don't know if you heard me say this before, but it was like the break and fake. I kind of like coined that term a little bit because there was a time there in November, December where it felt like anyways, a lot of stocks were breaking and then just faking. It was like, boom, sorry, all the way back down in. So able to get out, and now I don't even have another stop for Nvidia because I said I'd sort of let them roll. But we have like less than 10% left of this Nvidia position. I don't really like what's happening now. So I'm just gonna push offer, enter, and get out. There it is. We end our trade at the 50 period moving average. It is, well, my number one P&L name today will be Palantir, but not far behind is this Nvidia trade. And so, what goes up doesn't necessarily need to come down, but we'll take advantage of that. And I don't normally trade this style into earnings anyways. So we'll take advantage of Nvidia and some of that Momo behind that name.
I'm always looking for Momo.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked you. That's why I asked you about averaging up.
Yeah.
Because if the momentum is there in the name, you're kind of okay.
It's an art. It's
risky though, right? Because you always feel
it's risky because like a lot of here's the thing. You've seen me do it multiple times as well. It's just like adding to a loser. The psychology is a little bit different, and I think a lot of people find it easy to add to a loser than adding to a winner as well. And then you got to kind of train yourself, getting uncomfortable doing that for a little bit. But over time, it's just like, okay, well, that's something I'm trying to work towards as well. And pyramiding is exactly that. It's adding to a winner so that, it makes sense. You will be in your biggest size on the biggest one. So you can lose a lot and it won't matter. And that's how some of these players, they can make hundreds of millions of dollars with a 20-30% win rate.
I mean, that example from, I think it was Jeff was, I think he's probably exaggerating, but he had mentioned 2 wins, 400 losses, and was still up. So I think that's probably an exaggeration, but again, very. So on that note, man, I get out more of Coinbase. So we're gonna drop this if it breaks through VWAP now, 171.50 for Coinbase, right there. So we'll just do that. 170. You know, we can get out a little. Let's just do that right now. 171.50, fine, good enough. 171.49, we'll mark it out if it breaks it. We have less than 5% left. We have less than 5% left of everything right now. So less than 5% on Palantir as it's pulling back, less than 5% on Coinbase, completely out of Nvidia. Maybe we got out of that a little too early, but that's what we're doing right now. So far so good here. As it's only 10:20, lots more to come through right now. And there's Obi right now, 152 on ORCL. So as that goes, there it is, Obi, you'll do this for you. There's a dollar club there. And I know you're looking for more, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening there with Oracle and my guy to the right of me, Obi. Okay, Adara, she's got an update here for you guys. It's 10:20. Let's go find out at the desk from Adara.
Over to our friend Luis Barbado. It's a small cap recap, and this first name is one that was on our watch list and also one that Luis discussed. We've got about, I believe, $2.2 million market cap for this name, roughly 4 million share float. Again, these details are on our Trader TV Live watch list, but regardless, XWEL, ticker XWEL, trading higher here, revealing a roughly $31.3 million private placement. Let's talk here about RXRX. As I mentioned earlier this morning, Recursion Pharmaceuticals, formerly involved with NVDA in terms of Nvidia, had previously invested in this name. They actually posted a double beat this morning, so good earnings look for RXRX. Last but not least, a name that has certainly been discussed on the show and has rallied in the past, KIDZ, Class Over Holdings, announced the publication of an industry white paper on, I guess, the tutor studio platform industry. So nice look there for KIDZ. Back to you.
There to Luis, and we want to thank him for joining. And I believe Luis will be on the Midday show. I don't know if you know that now. He comes on the Midday or was he on when you were on the Midday one day? No, maybe not.
No.
Oh, he was, right? I thought so. He'll be with Joe and Sharif today around, I don't know what time, 12:30, noonish, 1. So we'll check him on 1 o'clock. Thanks, Adara. She's always on point back there. Thank you for the small cap recap. And I mean, let's just look at big cap names just real quick, and then we'll get right back to trading as we'll watch Obi's positions work out for him. And we start to get out as by the way, Palantir is now $4. Palantir is going right back up to the upside as is every name now. All right, and well, maybe not every name. GE, RTX, Broadcom, Micron. So it's really nice to see the electronic technology sector starting to go today as we just patiently wait for 4 o'clock. Is it 4:20, I think, Adara, or when does Nvidia pop? Do we know?
Always 4:20. Always exactly on time. 4:20.
Okay, perfect. So we'll be there.
I was gonna say that I want to kind of trade it, but
why not?
That'd be awesome to trade it for you guys live off the reaction. But yeah, no, I think we're gonna be closed orders at.
They turn them on about 4:15.
4:15 ish.
4:15.
It was interesting to see the kind of price action.
Okay, so yeah, great. I just wanted to bring that up just in case you guys were interested in our watch party. We do have a Trader TV Live watch party happening tonight for Nvidia earnings. So stay tuned for that. Utility name, we could check out some of the gold plays and whatever that's potentially around today. Utilities, oil names there. It was interesting to see this sector downside. I think they were a little down yesterday as well. Procter & Gamble, Coke, Pepsi. As it feels like the Nasdaq being down 5% here, getting a little love now from its all-time highs. Nasdaq down 5%. So some of these names, just a little bit of a rotation out right now, out of some of these. There's a term going around halo right now. Heavy assets. Name. So if you can I sort of talked about if you can hold it in your hand, it's been working, right? So retail, we talked about some movement up in Target as they're reporting next week, now down 0.5. Costco, Amazon working. So it looks like a lot of these AI-based names trying to work today. Finally, man, nice to see this space starting to kick, right? I mean, a lot of us are invested, whether or not you like it or not, in financials, ETFs and whatnot. XLF is actually having a nice recovery day today as well, as some of the pain in that trade has abated just a bit. We can go over to JP Morgan. I'm assuming it broke back through 300, so not a bad assumption there as there it goes. through $300 now again, back up through 301, 301.50. We'll see what's going on there with JP Morgan. Did SoFi bounce strongly off 19? Not really, man. We're only at 19.20 here as we'll wait to see what's going on there with SoFi. And we're just noticing Palantir's right back up to these highs. That's what I was sort of hitting keys for there. Let me just put an offer. We'll get an 18 fill now on Palantir as it's right back up near its highs one more time. So yeah, PLTR doing work today, that's for sure. My number one PL name, we don't have any losers on board now. We've got Coinbase, we've got Nvidia, and we've got Palantir. So we'll ring the register there on a 3-for-3 kind of look early. It's only 10.25. SMR, I mean, this could be a bottom pick trade. You know, another name here that's really got beat up in the energy space. And of course, this is nuclear small modular reactors right here for SMR. And the name of SMR, do you know the company name?
No, I don't.
Yeah, NuScale. So it's kind of funny because they got SMR, the small modular reactors, but it's NuScale. And they're right down here at $13 as well. So watch out. This could be a nice little mover, as well as a quantum space. Maybe moving around today just a little bit. So, all right, any updates on Oracle? Have you been getting out or what's going on?
Yeah, so I got some off at VWAP there, and you know, doing okay to kind of maybe build a little bit more back into it here. Like I said, I do want to work on my pyramiding. That was one of my main goals for this week, and I guess mainly for this month. I don't think it can be you know, mastered in a week, but one of the main goals for this month is just getting more aggressive with those winning positions and letting those losers kind of, you know, get cut as fast as possible. But let me know what you guys are up to. So here, you know, I kind of not the cleanest, but this was my attempt a little bit at a quick pyramiding on this scalp. Initial position on the break of that trend. We pop. You know, I should technically really be getting it, watching this 152. That was kind of this chop from before, and getting it in a little bit closer. But it is slightly spready at times, anywhere between. Sometimes it's 5 penny spread, sometimes it's 15 to 20 penny spread, and the chop is kind of you know, I consider that a little bit part of that as well. You know, when levels get taken out, like I'm looking at the absolute shares here on Oracle, and you can see that you know, on 151, 58, there's only about like 50, 60 shares. You know, so if I'm getting in and out, I'm definitely taking levels out at certain times, being like, okay, well, you know, it might not be as liquid as it seems. So the chop is kind of, you know, 15, 20%, 20 cent chop there on Oracle if you're really kind of push into it in any direction, really. So what I did was it came into that 152 and some change, and then seller stepped back in, so I added there. I guess target was in and around that VWAP. So we got that VWAP as well. Something I was watching at the same time was that market, tailwind market, that second red candle went red to green, and we were catching a little bit of a bid here as well at the same time. So I did okay to kind of try to add some more in, but if we're gonna chop around here, 151 halves, and bid back up along with the rest of the market, I don't want to necessarily stay involved for very long. So that was a quick little scalp there. But where is the next trade is what I am asking here. And you know, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I love my reversions. So I'm going to be patient. That's kind of one of my main playbooks. Now there's different nuances, different types of reversions all over the place. You can have the reversion of the reversion, and I like my quick scalps as well. I would consider this a scalp as well. I wasn't in there, like the time in the trade was what, from 10:06 to 10:21, so roughly about 15 minutes, and then totally out at 10:26. So about a 20-minute trade overall. And you know, there are times when people ask, well, how long are some of your average trades? It really depends. But when it comes to some of the best reversions, I like to look for symmetry. And symmetry kind of means that the chart will do the opposite in a similar fashion to what it was doing before. So a good example, again, it's on a much higher time frame, is Netflix and Meta as well on a daily chart. So if you take a look at this one, on a daily, this was a textbook reversion on Netflix here, is this on the weekly? This was 2022. Yeah, right here. So it's a little cleaner on the weekly. There's a lot of gaps here, so a lot of aggressive selling here in 22, and you can see a little bit of symmetry here. It took about let's say it says here 322, say about roughly 250 to 300 days for that selling to finally kind of dissipate and then to get all the way back up. Here, I guess it says about 600. So it's not always like perfect, but somewhat of a symmetry there on the daily chart. Let's go to a weekly. You can see it much, much nicer here. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. And I guess this is not the best example. This was, you know, taking the elevator down and the stairs up, but Meta as well, one of the names here, Facebook. So this one a little bit better there. So selling kind of happens across, was it 420 days, nice. And then the buying also happens around 455. So a lot more symmetrical here in terms of the reversion, but you can see a lot of the selling happens very, very quickly on something like, on this move here. And the breakout on both these names after 100% reversion, like this was the place to get in on Meta. These were those, I guess if you want to call them COVID or pre-COVID highs, and when we finally got back to them, we have never looked back. And the same thing on NFLX, was if there was a place to get long, it was that 70, now this is split adjusted, that $70 level, and we got all the way up to a split adjusted price of 134. Now we're coming back into those 70s, which is very interesting to me. So if we break back below this, I think it could be very interesting, Sean.
Yeah, we're just looking here at Coinbase. I'm just trying to get in and out a little bit here of the stock one more time, because you're well nicely in the money right now on Coinbase as it gets up to 174. And just another little talk here, because there goes Palantir up again. We take a 134 now on Palantir as some of these names just keep on getting higher and higher here. Sorry I took so long there. I was trying to get an espresso out of the old machine there and kept on. I pushed jug of coffee by accident.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I was able to stop it, but
nice. Yeah. Just gonna hit the cancel
right there. I know you don't. Do you want an espresso?
No, I'm okay. I got.
Yeah, as you say, you never normally do. I should have asked you before I ran and got one there. So salute to everybody. Nice and hot. Right there. So, yeah, I appreciate that talk there, GD fellow. But yeah, it's a nice move, man. We're now $9 in the money in total here. And we would have been even better on Nvidia, but we did get, I stopped myself out there. I honestly thought the market was potentially going to break right there, but instead we hold the 50-period moving average. So definitely a missed opportunity there, but we only had 5% left. Same thing in all these trades. So upside here, we'll see if we can hold on. Still doing well, man, even though we have smaller pieces left. Let's look for something else. Coinbase, silver. All right. What's going on with silver right now? Let's have a quick little look here. 81.50, 81.60, potentially pulling back here is silver down to the downside, 81 bucks. Okay, so I wrote down 80. That's not going to be a thing. But for me right now, it looks like we're actually pulling back right now on silver. So if you guys were to ask like a potential opinion here on SLV, for me, it's kind of simple. I would think short at this point, breaking underneath VWAP, underneath the 200 period. It's definitely a dangerous short, I would say, because of the levels that we're in right now on this. You know, you could break this 80. You might want to wait to see if we're able to break 80 before we get too excited about it. But that would be a trade that I'd be looking at right now, would be a short of silver if we can get anywhere near 82 or so to average, just to get a better price. You know, I mean, going short right now, you're kind of in the middle of that position. So like middle meaning like 81 being the bottom and sort of 82 where I'd like to short, so 81.50. We're gonna have to give it a breath here to see where SLV goes from here. But that's not a horrible idea. Look, today I thought it was risk on, man. I mean, the Nasdaq started to go a little bit. We were up 0.3 or 0.4 heading into Nvidia earnings. Looked like a good opportunity to go risk on today, and that's what we did. We took 3 longs. All right, AMD, with NVIDIA breaking higher, we did see NVIDIA dip down, but AMD also dips down. And look, I don't think just because NVIDIA is coming out today, I don't think AMD's dead in the water by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, a good report from NVIDIA should also help spike AMD. I feel like that is something that could easily happen tonight as well. Just more talk. We got that big deal yesterday with AMD and Meta. So AMD does have teeth in this game for sure, right? And I would say that any violent move down, we got a nice buyback into $200 there yesterday for Advanced Micro Devices, and then that story hits. The good thing, and I know this is not a Mag 7 name, but the good thing about Mag 7 stocks or big cap stocks like this that are in the space, at any moment you could get a story that really rockets these things back up to the upside, because the only thing that we're really going to beat them up for apparently is CapEx. And then what we talked about there, anything software related right now seems to be getting hit with Anthropic and all these bots that are being put out there, thinking that all these jobs are all of a sudden going to be like wiped out of nowhere. We'll see if that is the case or not. CRM today, nice move back higher here for Salesforce. Nice to see that move, as I know that was one of the names that was a little dead in the water for a couple minutes there, Salesforce, and still might be. Their report coming tonight should be definitely an interesting one, to say the least, there for CrowdStrike for CRM tonight. Salesforce, what's up, Randy? Hope you're doing well. CrowdStrike was another beat-up name that you and I talked about, or you talked about actually earlier, and nice. You saw a nice bounce. You talked about relative strength yesterday in CRWD, and so there it is today. It does break below that 350, but then catches a bottom. The name that I invested in yesterday, or was it 2 days ago around lunchtime, was Palo Alto, and it's kind of hovering around the same spot as it was previously, so not much going on there for Pan W in the spot. So we'll wait to see if Palo Alto wants to get back up to the upside. I don't believe that any of these Claude bots or anything are going to be dramatically affecting anything that we see in this space as far as cybersecurity, but been wrong before. And some of the things that these AI coders can build maybe are going to surprise us. So maybe the cybersecurity space is one that's in trouble. I did want to look at Google because it was going lower today for some reason. Okay,
wow, look at that.
Yeah, Google right now fading
That's nice.
off this market move. So not really sure about this trade there, Dara. Was there any specific stories for Google? Because with the Nasdaq up 1%.
So earlier today they announced, I guess they were able to kind of stop some hacker, one of their divisions. That's very unlikely why this is moving. I am not seeing anything new. That's again, only story I saw on Google was that hacker thing. It was on our watch list. I'm not seeing anything since then.
Okay, yeah, I mean, so there it goes. Google downside right now, going oppo the market. So definitely an interesting name to take a look at. Palantir still cruising, and so is Coinbase. So, Coinbase is 175, my guy? Okay, I'm just going to punch out a little bit here at 30s. Okay, well, we get it. There goes Coinbase, man. Nice cooking to the upside there, coin. Let's see where that winds up going right now. But that's basically all that I'm looking at. And it's 10:37 right now. We do have our morning show to get ready to go. Our afternoon show following. 11 to 2 o'clock will be Sharif and Joe, and they'll be talking about some options with my guy Joe over there. We do have Luis Barbado coming on to talk more small caps. And of course, make sure you do scan that QR code. Talk all about Trader TV Academy and get going on that. Lots of areas of journaling. Our whole journey into the world of trading begins with Trader TV Live Academy. Grab it right now with that QR code.
Yeah, thank you very much there. I think it's pretty decent here. Some of the moves that we've been getting here in the market. Wow, there goes Oracle once again. So talk about pyramiding. Guess what? Yeah, I did get out, but this was maybe another retest of those lows. Market's coming in as well. So I'm like, all right, cool. I was watching this 151 halves, and I was like, okay, well, this might go a little bit lower, might go a little bit lower. Boom, slams into 151. I'm like, all right, well, there goes 50 pennies. I'm like, okay, it's okay. It's not too late. It's not too late. We talk about, buying higher and selling even higher. I also love selling low and buying even lower as well. So, it's the same kind of concept there as the market takes a wee little bit of a pullback here to the downside. But no, that Palantir continues to push higher. So distinctly different here on Palantir there, Sean. So shout out to Sean for being in that banger of a trade. But I'm asking you guys, what are you guys trading really? Because, everyone's playbook is so different. Farm Trader saying reloaded. What are you reloading, bro? I want to know. So let's see what people are saying. Nvidia, bad. What is Nvidia up to? Nvidia is still holding that 195 pretty well. But yeah, a little bit of a chop here. Nothing too crazy. Pulls back into VWAP. I guess the place to buy, Sean, was that VWAP because it only got to 195.15. Beautiful test of VWAP. Opening range high holds as well. That's all the way down at 195 clean, but that's only 15 pennies away on something like an Nvidia. That's pretty much a test of opening range highs, and if it's confluence with VWAP, I like that as well. But again, I think the bigger picture here, the most recent bigger move was that pullback into VWAP, giving you about 0.5% from 196 is down to 195, is about $1 down on that one there. Yeah, let's see what else you guys are talking about. OBAI apparently. Let's see if this one is obeying any sort of price action here. Our Bond Inc. A lot of people have been talking about this one as of recent. I guess in the pre-market it was a little bit of something, and I think it's been running over the past couple of weeks. Yeah, there's some relative volume. What did that day do? Whoa, hello. So recent IPO, I guess. On this one, catches some volume on Tuesday in the pre-market here. Decent move there. Goes all the way from $3, $4, all the way up to $12. Beautiful fade here as well. Some of these pre-market small caps, I think there's definitely a lot of edge there, and something I'm definitely looking into after I finish working on a few other things. But right now, we got the recap with Darren.
Let's talk about these sectors. Electronic tech, interesting because the major components are very strong, smaller ones not so much. Nvidia, Apple, Broadcom, and Micron, the four largest components in the sector, doing quite well. While we do have some weakness in the likes of GE, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman. If you go to tech services, though, this group is all in all much stronger. Palantir up 4%, Netflix up 5%, Microsoft up 2.5%, Meta up 1.5%, Oracle with that upgrade from Oppenheimer up 3%. As Sean mentioned, Google underperforming its friends in that sector, though. Finance, strong across the board. Retail trade, Amazon looking good, as well as TJX on earnings day one, but low, trading lower on earnings day one, and HD on earnings day two, finding some weakness as well. If you look at some of these sectors that are weaker across the board, you've got energy, minerals, transportation, process industries, industrial services, utilities, health tech, and for the most part, producer manufacturing, though these kind of semiconductor-associated names like AMAT and LRCX are actually trading higher. Now, I do want to mention health services here. Consumer durables also strong, but health services, pretty weak yesterday. Today, pushing higher, a little bit of a rebound for UNH and the like in that health insurance space. Back to you.
Health insurance, we talked a little bit about that yesterday with UNH and whatnot. Like, whatever Palantir had for breakfast, man, I want some of that, like, pretty much immediately. This stock is now up $5.50. So we're up $12 now in these two positions. Like, I don't know what crypto's doing right now. I don't know what Palantir's doing, but I like a lot right now. And we'll just do smoking. We're on one today, that is for sure. There goes Palantir through 135. Like, what is even happening? I mean, this is just explosion right there to the upside. And I guess just beat up too much. Someone likes it today. Maybe you'll hear about Cathie Wood or somebody coming in on that one here later on today. We'll find... Hello. Come on, Cathie. Like, I mentioned her and she wants a phone. Like, she sees we're working here. We'll talk about that a little later. Oh, God. Right here comes Randy again right now. I don't know if we're going to have Warren Buffett here calling out pretty soon, as he likes XOM. Randy likes XOM, getting some oil space action right there. But, yeah, there goes Palantir up 5% and Moon City right there. And then here goes Coinbase. That's also up $5. Right there as well. And it's just all found right here, right now on the sticky note. Coinbase, Nvidia, Palantir, and Circle long at 70. That Circle never came in. That was just a hope and a pray, but there's silver as well. So Coin 170, check. Nvidia 193, break of 195. Bang, bang. And then Palantir 129 to 130, bang, 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 bang. Right there, as that's exactly, and it's about following the plan. And we all talk about it, Obi, all the time. Like, we could be wrong. And when we're wrong, and we stop out. I think we've shown many examples of that throughout the time. Today, I didn't really have any stop outs, but here's the plan. There's 130 start, there's 129. The stop was in at 128.79. So if this was gonna go down, we were gonna lose 50 cents or, well, 50 cents on that look, about $1 there. So we'd lose about $1.20 or so on the position. So as it matures up, it's a good trade there. And sometimes you're wrong and you get hit, right? But that is what, it's all about. And people are going to hate me for this, but, you know, Team Canada played a better game than Team USA, but Team USA gets the golden goal. And they're the ones raising the trophy and deserve to do that. But sometimes, you know, the market will get the best of you, and sometimes you'll get the best of the market. And regardless of how well you're prepared or how dead on your levels are, it just takes that one trade. And we had that good example from Jeff there, and that's why I use hockey as an example. It's that one goal. Boom, you win. It's these one trades. Boom, your net is where it needs to be. And, you know, there it is with PLTR, Nvidia, and Coinbase today. All just really worked out for us to benefit. Robinhood at 70. That was a name that we should have took, man. We talked about Robinhood down there at 70. I talked about it yesterday, breaking that level. And then now today, nice upside, up 4% for Robinhood. And again, Obi, this looks like a potential coil up down there. Would like to see a capitulated volume spike or something, but definitely looking like it's trying to base out down there. I think Robinhood, if the financials can settle down, and everything's an if, but that would be definitely somewhere to look. And I feel the same way about PayPal as about Robinhood. Not moving forward, but just the base. Like we based out right there. And I think if you were to go long somewhere in the mid 70s, maybe a little lower than this, and give yourself to that low wick of like 69.50, feel like you can definitely, you know, get a little bit more risk to reward than $6 right now on Palantir. If you're right, you're probably going to get a 90 or 100 print, and if you're wrong, you take a 10% haircut on that one. So, but yeah, I see there, Hellebuck. I saw the State of the Union last night, and President Trump had them all out. Hellebuck's their goalie, who stood on his head, and he got like a Medal of Honor or something as a goaltender of the United States. So shout out to him. 2 or 3 time Vezina Trophy winner, which is the best goalie in the NHL, is the Vezina Trophy. So that's a big strength of the U.S. is the goaltending. So shout out to, what a great game. It was a great game to watch that. Both that and, although I didn't see the women's game live, both games were great to watch.
Artemis in the chat saying that USA won because the goalie stopped 41 shots on goal.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
And not only that, so the expected goals, so there's all these metrics and all that kind of stuff. The expected goals was 6.3 for Canada and 2.7 for United States based on shots. Like we had
different stats.
We had the best player in the world, Nathan McKinnon, miss an open net. So like that's like a 99% chance he makes it, right? But again, pressure and everything like that, it all builds, right? And pressure busts pipes, as they say. That's what it is, and he's a great goaltender.
Yeah, no, I think
that's hockey, right?
The kind of stat that you said, you know, it only takes one goal. Sometimes when you look at like, you know, your yearly P&Ls, you see that majority of that comes from like, let's say, you know, the 80-20 rule.
Yes.
Say majority of those gains come from maybe like 10 to 20% of your trades overall. And so that's an interesting thing to kind of note, and being like, okay, well, you know, most of the money is made probably just on a handful of trades during the year, right?
I believe that to be 100% true.
Yeah. For example, like I know you guys smashed some of those IPOs.
That was exactly the example I was just going to use.
Like they don't come very often, but when they come, you exponential sizing. Right, you know, you're not using everyday kind of size on those things, and those opportunities, because those opportunities don't come, and because they have, you know, there's definitely some edge there as well. So
like Coinbase right now, we're $12 in the money on these 2 trades. So just like if you use max volume, max share size, you could be done for the whole month, right? I mean, it's just like sometimes you find these trades, sometimes you don't. What's up, Adara?
Before we talk about money, we must talk about Iran. J.D. Vance, Vice President of the United States, apparently currently speaking on Fox News, saying that he, quote, hopes Iranians are taking negotiations on Thursday seriously. So once again, more kind of will they or won't they with these tensions between Iran and the U.S. If I get more details, I'll let you know. But just be aware, it looks like J.D. Vance is currently still talking, as far as I understand, on Fox News. Let's talk about this U.S. dollar. DXY still running into that resistance just above that, or just around, sorry, that 97.8 level. 98 very much still elusive here for the DXY. But I mean, if you look at this daily chart, still these higher lows with a relatively flat top from a technical standpoint, going back to that base we made on January 27th. And again, that base had to do with some concerns that the U.S. Fed and the Treasury were going to be intervening or try to look in here to intervention for the Japanese yen. Let's take a look here at the CME Fed Watch tool, because there's really not any economic data to speak of today, tomorrow, or really a I guess, sorry, today and tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. But on Friday, we are going to get some PPI prints. That being said, regardless, March 18th, 2026, that is now less than a month away from the next Fed meeting, and 98% of participants are expecting rates are going to be held steady. Now, if you go ahead to April here, got about 84% of participants expecting no cut. June, and this is interesting, guys, June, we're now even seeing the majority still expecting no cut. At one point, the majority was expecting a cut in June. That's no longer the case. If you go forward to July, that's when you start to see the majority expecting at least 25 basis point rate cut. As we get more details, of course, and as things evolve, this is very likely to change. But interesting to see that June rate cut now getting pushed back maybe to July. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to check out the Trader TV Academy. And right now, we're going to get more insights from two of our traders.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Interesting rate cuts back there to June. So yeah, July. Sorry, yeah, we were hoping that maybe we could get one, even potentially in March. But yeah, still to be determined there with these rate cuts. And again, you know, data will be king, right? I mean, as data comes out, we'll be able to see how that all looks, and you know, the appointment of new Fed chair there, Kevin Warsh. We'll see how that starts to kick out again. That's May, I believe, right, Adair, that he takes a spot.
Yes, but there is also the issue that certain members of you know, Senate and leadership are saying they might not even vote to pass along Warsh until all of the, you know, legal hubbub with Powell is cleared.
Okay, so hubbub, their legal terminology. But yeah, that's the whole thing, is that Lisa Cook still, right? I mean, all this stuff needs to get all settled out still. So that'll be interesting to see. The Fed should have an interesting year behind or in front of them moving forward right now. Okay, some more outs on Palantir. I'm getting basically ready to clear everything out. Out on Coinbase, out on Palantir. $13 now in the money on these two positions, and we got out of Nvidia a little too early right there. But we got to figure out, you know, one of the most important things.
Yes.
All right, so yesterday we had tilapia, which apparently wasn't that bad. I don't know.
I went and got some pizza, so.
Yeah, okay, so you got pizza.
That's
I had
usually
the
the
salmon.
playbook these days.
Adara, I heard in the background, wasn't a huge fan of the tilapia yesterday. The salmon was good, though. Wow, Nvidia might break 196 again. But today, we do have what's for lunch, and it is the symbol China. Right there. We are looking at lemongrass grilled chicken, spring rolls, rice, mixed noodles, and green salad. So lemongrass chicken should be good, I feel like. Spring rolls, I don't know if we've had them here before, probably okay. Mixed noodles and green salad. Okay. That's what's for lunch, and it, you know,
that's good.
Should be okay. Yeah. I liked yesterday, you know, the big piece of protein there with the salmon. You a fish fan?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love salmon, for sure. One of the favorites.
When
done well.
A little questionable sometimes.
Yeah,
the salmon's perfectly fine.
The salmon has been good. Okay, so that's that, man. Palantir, Nvidia, that's what we're dealing with. You're not in any positions. Is there?
PayPal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything you're looking at here as we get ready to go?
We know that PayPal's been kind of moving around with you know, buyout rumors. Funny enough, I think the first day the 45 level was a beautiful short here. It came to my attention when it got halted, and I was like, I looked up the news, and I'm like, okay, well, why is this moving around? Did someone actually place a bid? And you know what the news was? That they're talking to banks.
Okay.
Okay, and I was like, all right, cool. 45, great kind of a level. Just I like to work with 45 every now and then, and 45 ended up being a little bit of resistance. Next day, it comes out that they might be in, or Stripe might be taking a look at them, and then it slaps up to 47 halves. 250 above that 45, and then catches some resistance there as well. Today coming into 48, you can see here a beautiful break of trend. I should have been watching this one a little bit closer here, because again, when I go in and just draw a simple trend line, however you want it, you want to draw it from both of the lower points, maybe to this point right here. That was the pullback. However you want to draw it, right there. Boom. You can see when that trend does break. When that VWAP does break, we consolidate underneath. We break through opening range lows. I think that's also a great place to get in here, 47.20s. And I tried a quick little piece right here because this is where it kind of chopped and caught a bid yesterday. I was like, if we're going to break down, I'm willing to kind of look to take it a little further, but keep it extremely tight, because if that breaks down, I'm looking for it to go right away. But again, it is a very extended to the downside from the high a day there. Even from the break of trend, you can see we're down about $1.80, which is roughly about 3.76% to the downside off of the break of that bid. So when that bid was gone, decent seller stepping in. And again, market tailwind is definitely on the side of the sellers here as we kind of consolidated. I talked about that 25.3. We tried to bounce. We kind of look a little weak. And now we're looking to attempt to break down with only 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left in this? No, that's a 3-minute candle. Never mind. 5 minutes left for this 15-minute candle to come to a close here, and we're breaking down through this level. So maybe potentially a bit of a reversion happening here on the Nasdaq. The ES still has a little bit to go here. 69.30s is that prior low, and both of them bidding pretty decently from the morning session. But you can see here the Nasdaq, so tech, a lot more aggressive of a bid here on some of these tech names. So let's take a quick look at what was, or who was the culprit there. And right away, we kind of covered them before. MSFT, Microsoft, showed the utmost strength as we got through 400, bit of a false break through 400, and then pulling back, sideways consolidation on this one. I know Meta was pretty strong as well. Let's see how that one's doing. Wow, beautiful. When that bid is gone, we revert right back to VWAP. 650s, 651s are the highs right there, and currently trading at 647s on Meta. But when you look at some of the other megs, they're not really doing that much of a move. These were pretty aggressive moves on both Meta. I guess Tesla was one of them as well. Tesla did pull back pretty decently, more than 50%. But you can see Apple, decent bid, but percentage-wise, not in the same area as some of those other ones here. So Tesla was a big runner here in the morning, but you can see this was the better reversion as we pulled back over 50% of that opening drive here. Even gave you a potential chance here at VWAP. This is a 3-minute chart, maybe finding a bit of a base here at 413. So I'm still waiting. I'm watching. PayPal is now on the radar for me when it comes to chips. I guess people were talking about ARM maybe potentially being nice. Micron was also one on watch today, and you can see kind of lost that bid and broke all the way down, maybe potentially coming into opening range lows all the way down here at 425s. But the open price, I think, is that 930 candle. The 930 candle opening price is 426.50. So coming back into open, SMH, you can see here almost a full recovery here as well on SMH, and that is the semiconductor ETF. I want to also take a look at SNDK because a lot of people are watching this one as well. You can see a whole lot of nothing because it's just trading within its range here, doing absolutely bupkis, Sharif. So, you know, the bigger picture move, maybe a little bit of relief, maybe a little bit of, chop, but you can see that on the weekly, it's holding extremely well here. 725 highs, all-time highs on SNDK, and these RAM prices they just continue to kind of hold, man.
I don't even know what to think. There's SNDK, there's WDC, there's Seagate Technologies, and of course, I think the one that a lot of traders, and I actually called this yesterday. I was like, I really feel that Micron is one of the names to look out for in tonight's earnings report for Nvidia. I mean, if the AI race is still on, I say if, it still is on. We know that Nvidia is going to hopefully indicate demand. And when they do that, Micron, you need memory for all these GPUs and for all these applications. So it's like there is really no stopping. I mean, even though it's up so dramatically from their lows, right? I mean, we talked about this yesterday, where we were just a year ago, we were if we're going back to February, this was an $80, $90 stock, picking whatever day, all the way to 427 right now. So you're up like 4x right now over the year on Micron, let alone SNDK and Western Digital. I mean, some of these names really explosive moves northbound. And what else to expect when that's the issue? This was $50 up to $650. So come on, man. You're up 10, 11, 12 times on these names. And we did get a short report. I don't know if you saw that yesterday on SNDK.
Citron,
that's
right?
Yeah. So that was part of this little move down right there yesterday, 693 down to 640. So we actually got clubbed, I think 7 or 8%. Give that today. So you're down about 10% in 2 days. So yeah, I think the glut will come eventually. It is kind of a perfect market. Like when there's demand, obviously supply is going to run out. And when supply runs out, what do these companies do? They just push their machines a little faster, a little harder, get those supplies out. Then competition comes in, margins start to squeeze. And the heyday of these names is probably over, but still continues to work out. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't think we're going to go 5 or 6 times from here.
Right.
But still definitely a good spot to put your risk bets in on the RAM space. Okay, Obi, always a great show, man. Thank you so much for hosting. We'll have Neil back tomorrow, but Obi will be with me today from 2 to 4, and then join us from 4 to 4:30 with the After Hours show, where we'll talk all about earnings. The Nvidia watch party is now on. Scan that QR code. Get involved with Trader TV Live Academy as well. That's Obi. I'm Sean. Thank you so much, Adara, today. Thank you to Luis. Luis will be joining these guys on the Midday show as well. So for me and Obi, that's it for now. Over to the Midday show. Thank you. We'll see you guys then.
Can I take this thing one more time?
大家好，他的名字是 Joseph， 我叫 Sharif， 很高兴认识你美女人。Oh, I did it well today. There we go. No stutter, no nothing. What's going on, everybody? Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. I hope everybody pseudo understood what I said there. Shout out to Jody. Shout out to Donkey Trader. I grow fighting. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Callum Mitchell Miller.